leading the band.
They ought to play this in every game, right?
Just behind the arch by the Mississippi River, St. Louis, Missouri, Bush Memorial Stadium. The Cardinals, with their record of 2-3, entertain the Los Angeles Rams, who are 3-2. Both teams are rolling. Packed house at Bush Memorial Stadium, as you would expect for a contest of this magnitude. Good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier. And as I said, both teams seem to have it all together, and it should be a fine contest.
Well, they say before you know success, you have to ride on the rims a few times. Each of these teams was blown out in their opening games. Detroit by 40, or scored 40 against the Rams. The Giants beat the Cardinals, but they're solid right now. And the reason probably the Cardinals had success is that they've got Dan Dierdorf and a very large offensive line to protect Jimmy Hart and block for O.J. Anderson.
As a matter of fact, both teams have big and very effective offensive lines. And you had a chance to talk to Dan Dierdorf before the game.
Right before the game, the big guy from Michigan, the All-Pro. Let's hear it.
Well, we lost Terry, Steve, and Keith Wortman, and it's hurt us. There's no doubt about it. And Tommy Banks is having to play out of position. He's one of the best centers in the game, and he's having to play right guard. But I think with all things considered, we've made the adjustment pretty well, and I think that every game we play, we're getting better, although there's no doubt about it that so far this season, this is the finest front four we play against, and we'll be severely tested today.
No question about the effectiveness of the Rams' offensive line either. Sort of the unsung heroes of this great ball club, and you had a chance not to neglect them at all to talk with their fine offensive tackle, Jackie Slater.
Maybe the best drive blocker in football. Here's Jackie talking about it.
Whether it's a 3-4
Well, as a team, I think that the 34 will give us a few more problems than basic 4-3 defense, but it doesn't matter to me because either way it goes, I'm going to have one guy that I'm going to have to deal with specifically.
And remember, Ferragamo in the last 3 games has only been sacked once, 1 interception. He is one of the great controlled quarterbacks in this big offensive line. They protect Ferragamo like he's a ruby, and he really is. Whether he's signed or not, he's one of the best quarterbacks in football right now.
We had a chance to talk to Vince Ferragamo a little bit earlier, and we'll have that conversation as time progresses. You watch now on one of the most delightful days you could ever expect or imagine in the Midwestern part of this country. Drew Hill back deep, and Steve Little, one draft choice a couple of years ago for the Cardinals, will kick off, and Little drives it down to the 3-yard line where Drew Hill, who was also very effective, takes it. Drew Hill outside the 20 to about the 24. Here is the Ram offense. We talked to Jackie Slater. There's the rest of the front line.
It is massive, and it's good, and it's very fundamental. They are not tricky. They just get the job done. Victor Hicks is a good-looking young tight end, too.
The backs and the receivers, the quarterback, the aforementioned Vince Ferragamo, Elvis Peacock having a great year so far. Cullen, Bryant, such a good blocker. Preston Denard and Billy Waddy will be wide, but they'll utilize all of their wide receivers.
Remember, the Cardinals shut down the Eagle rushing game very effectively out of this 34. They're good hitters.
And they'll stay pretty much in the 3-4 we thought, but right now it's a 4-man front that looks like a flex. Offset a little bit. This is Cullen Bryant. And nothing much to Cullen to a grade. Bob Pollard. We'll check that St. Louis defense in just a minute. In fact, we'll do it right now. The front 3, although they played a 4 on that particular lineup. Bob Pollard, Ron Jankowski, the end, Steve Niels, Tim Carney, Eric Williams, and Mark Arneson, the linebacker.
Carney had the big interception against New Orleans. He's always been a great hitter if he can stay healthy. A lot of zone by this secondary, but they're going to have their test today. The Rams will try to split those zones a lot.
Didn't look like Cullen Bryant got much, but it'll be 2nd and 5 nevertheless. Billy Waddy moves out wide to the right. Ferragamo gives off to Cullen Bryant again. Vince Ferragamo, of course, having a great year so far. We asked him about his current contract negotiations and status before the game.
Bowling all signed.
Obviously, we'll have to do that again later on. He really didn't say too much of significance, except that if the Rams make a fair offer, or what he considers to be a fair offer, he will sign.
The Rams are 47% on third down conversions.
3rd and 2. They have a chance to make that better now as Ferragamo drops and hits. Billy Waddy has a first down for Los Angeles. Fumble, and the Cardinals have it. May have been blown dead. Not sure yet.
Waddy, of course, with the 4.3 speed, perhaps the fastest person on the Rams squad. He's coming under. Remember, if you play a zone deep, you're going to get some bad action sometimes underneath the zone when people drop out of it and go to their appointed areas. Ferragamo had all the time in the world. Again, the big offensive line just leaned on people.
Ferragamo's only been sacked one time in the last 3 games, and he improves his percentage of completions with that one as they rule it Rams still ball. 71.4% of his passes he has completed up till now, and now it's better. Elvis Peacock. And again, it doesn't look like much, but he's still got about 5 stopped by Roger Worley. Let's see again if we can try to hear what Vince Ferragamo had to say about his contract status.
Well, I think I've pretty much taken the same stand all through the negotiations, and that being that I'm the same player capable of going into a game and making things happen, and my stand is actually the same. It's up to the Rams now to see what they come up with, and if they make it a good offer, not something that's unreasonable, but I think which is reasonable, and then I'll sign.
Elvis Peacock on 2nd and 6 bowls over Mark Arneson and still gets a couple of yards.
Peacock finally healthy. As we saw him get so many touchdowns against the Giants. He had 114 yards rushing last week against New Orleans. He's a back that's always under control, and they must be cloning him at Oklahoma. There's Sims and Pruitt, and I can think of a lot of great running backs, and Elvis Peacock is one of those coming out of there.
And they had one yesterday in that shootout with Texas. It did also very well. It'll be 3rd down. 2 yards to go, 44-yard line of the Cardinals. 3rd and 2. Ferragamo, the quarterback, and he's going to put it up, and successfully again, this time to the tight end, Walt Arnold. A double tight end setup for the Rams. Tim Collier made the tackle.
Terry Nelson has been out this year. He's one of the very fine tight ends, and Arnold and young Hicks have done a heck of a job at tight end. Now, Ferragamo is hitting at 71% completion. It's a little better than what you see right now, and of course, he's hit his first 2 passes. He is extremely under control right now, but that goes back to the people around you. That's a solid-looking offensive team.
They had 5 interceptions, and 4 of those came in the game against Tampa Bay. Since then, only 1. And since then, the Rams have rolled, and they're rolling right now. 1st and 10.
Tampa Bay's gone south since then, too. They haven't played well since.
That's where they live. 1st and 10 at the 31. Ferragamo outside, caught again. This time by Preston Bedard, and he's driven back after about an 8-yard pickup down to about the Cardinal 23-yard line.
Worley really plays the defense at that corner. I don't know how you can play out there for as many years as he has, but he always keeps the receivers in front of him. He makes mistakes, small ones. That time he hits Denard right in the rib cage and made him think about it.
As you said, the Buccaneers may have gone south 2nd quarter. 14-7, the Packers lead in Tampa. 2nd and 2, as we mentioned, an 8-yard pickup. Ferragamo, after taking the opening kickoff, has looked very sharp in driving his Rams down the field. He drops again. He's hit 3 out of 3. A lot of time, he's hit 4 out of 4. Fumble. Incomplete. Elvis Peacock had it momentarily, dropped it, so Ferragamo is not at fault, but he's now 3 out of 4.
Tim Carney really lays it on to Peacock. Watch the linebacker to the lower part of your screen, 56. Watch him come in now. Ferragamo gets darn good pass protection. That's a long time to stand there and be able to pick it out. Ill-fated move here. Watch these linebackers crush you. Carney and Collier.
The Giants and the Eagles at Giant Stadium, and that's the shocker, isn't it?
Their defense has shut down Wilbert Montgomery completely.
13-0. They missed the extra point, not 2 field goals. That's in the 2nd quarter. Not halftime yet. Here is Elvis Peacock, and he won't get it. That's Steve Niels, the linebacker, who dragged him down first. We'll see Frank Corral now.
And this is that Ram power football that does not work this time. The good linebackers on that 34 defense, they get good deep drops, and then they really can pursue from there. Boy, they strung that play out and did a good job.
Elvis Peacock, it would appear, was injured on that last play. And they're out to look at him. Frank Corral has had what you'd call, I think, a pretty good year so far. 6 out of 6 he is.
And 2 for 2 last season, so he's 8 in a row. He has failed to miss. You can say it that way.
Elvis Peacock limping off at the moment. It looks like a hip problem.
Cardinals are really hitters. And remember, they stopped that Eagle team right in its tracks.
What happens when the Vikings get the ball? It is Parsons hitting. He dropped the ball. Parsons is loose, and it is Minnesota ball, I believe. The Vikings say they haven't, and now the officials do. Tom Hannon appeared to be the guy to get it. There's Nord on top of him, and it is Hannon at the bottom with the ball. Parsons just plain dropped it.
It was a little bit low, but he still should have had it. And just dropped it as he tried to lift the ball up for the punt. And here comes a swarm of Minnesota Vikings. They had the punt block on anyway, so there were a lot of people. It really didn't matter who recovered the ball because it was 4th down anyway. Minnesota's ball.
Johnny, it was big plays that beat the Bears the first time around when these two teams met. The Vikings coming out on top, and they've started off with one here. A Bears turnover. Ricky Young hit right at the line of scrimmage, struggles forward, breaking the tackle of Osborne for maybe a yard or 2 at the most. And the Vikings in excellent position here now, following the fumble by Parsons. You know, you don't see him do that very often. I can't remember the last time that Parsons has dropped one cleanly. Looked like he was just turning the ball over to get the laces up in order to make the kicking motion, and he just dropped it.
And you hit it right on the head. Baltimore, by the way, leading Buffalo 10-6. Parsons is a sure-handed punter. It's just one of those things.
We saw Green Bay over Tampa Bay, and that's a key battle also in the Central Division. 2nd and 9. Kramer wants to throw. Cross field, almost intercepted by Allen Ellis, who had excellent coverage on Rashad. A heavy Bears rush forced Kramer to throw that perhaps a little prematurely. Dallas in front of San Francisco 7-0 in the first period.
And I think we got to credit Rashad with a good job of preventing Allen Ellis from making the interception. The ball was thrown a little bit behind Rashad, and Ellis had that ball, but Rashad kind of pulled on his arms and twisted and everything and kept him from intercepting the ball. And Tommy Kramer still has some problems. He has been rushed most of the year. He hasn't had all the greatest protection, but he has a tendency to sometimes miss or throw to an ill-advised receiver.
Sensor and LeCount have come in for the Vikings on 3rd and 9. 2 more receivers in the shotgun. They give it to Brown. Brown's got running room, but he's cut down inside the 20, short of the first down. Mike Hartenstein and Gary Fensick combining on the tackle, and it'll bring up 4th down. So the Bears defense rising up to stop the threat of the Vikings, at least the touchdown threat, following the turnover on the fumble by Parsons. And so it'll be a field goal try. Rick Danmeyer into the game. Danmeyer has attempted only 4 field goals thus far in 5 games. Has hit on 2 of them. This will be from the 25, a 35-yard attempt. Holding is Steve Dills, number 12. And it is good. So the Vikings convert the Bears' turnover, the fumble by Parsons, into the opening points of the game here in Bloomington. It is 3-0 with 8:57 remaining first quarter.
You don't have to be a genius to change your own oil and filter and save yourself up to $10. Valvoline Motor Oil shows you exactly how quick and easy it is with step-by-step change instructions on the back of Valvoline cans. It's really quite simple. Once you get the hang of it, just see for yourself, then do for yourself. No wonder more and more drivers are changing their own oil and filters and changing to Valvoline. It's a smart way to save up to 10 bananas without a lot of monkeying around. Right, Val?
When it's your vacation and you fly there for less.
That's Trans-American Airlines.
That's Trans-American. When you can get more life insurance than you thought you could afford.
That's Occidental Life.
That's Trans-America. When you rent a car and get the feeling that you're number one.
That's Budget Rent-A-Car.
There are many companies in the Trans-America family, and they all stand for just one thing. First-rate service at a fair price. That's Trans-America.
Next Saturday, see top U.S. skaters take a spin for world honors at the World Roller Skating Championships. Next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at Bloomington.
Hunter for the St. Louis Cardinals, standing back at his own 32.
He's had 5 inside the 20, Pat, so far this year.
That is Johnny Johnson, the rookie from Texas, signaling for the fair catch at about the...
Bruin in on the tackle there. And so the Bears will start from their 22-yard line.
The Bears would like to do something in the first half. They only have 1 touchdown this year. That's in 5 games during the first half.
How quick and easy it is with step-by-step change instructions on the back of Valvoline cans. It's really quite simple. Once you get the hang of it, just see for yourself, then do for yourself. No wonder more and more drivers are changing their own oil and filters and changing to Valvoline. It's a smart way to save up to 10 bananas without a lot of monkeying around. Right, Val?
When it's your vacation and you fly there for less,
That's Transamerica Airlines.
that's Transamerica. When you can get more life insurance than you thought you could afford,
That's Occidental Life.
that's Transamerica. When you rent a car and get the feeling that you're number one,
That's Budget Rent-A-Car.
there are many companies in the Transamerica family, and they all stand for just one thing: first-rate service at a fair price. That's Transamerica.
Next Saturday, see top U.S. skaters take a spin for world honors at the World Roller Skating Championships. Next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
That's how even these two teams are. The average yards per game, the points allowed, just one difference in both categories. And Coach Jim Hannafin, first year as the head man at St. Louis.
That's Dwayne Putnam next to him, the old offensive guard for the Rams who handles the offensive line. They're really discussing it, aren't they?
Suddenly first down Rams at their own 17. No score, 8:08 left first quarter. At Busch Stadium in St. Louis, the Cardinals and the Rams. And this is Eddie Hill. And a fumble. And again they rule it dead, and they rule it Rams ball.
It proves one thing. The Cardinals are really tackling the football. Here's young Acker, the rookie out of Texas, Freer, Texas. Saul turns him. The nose man can't really defy those running backs. Big hole, though. Again, that right guard is Big Smith at 265. That Kent Hill at left guard is about 270. Well, that was a close recovery there. It looked like a fumble.
Mark Arneson made the tackle again. There's a Ram shaken up as Eddie Hill has replaced Elvis Peacock. That's Kent Hill. The Rams have 3 with the last name of Hill. Drew Hill, the other one.
The Cardinals are hitting them a lick, though. That's Peacock and Hill that have both been down on offensive plays. That means the stinging's being done by the guys in the white helmets right now.
At St. Louis, Busch Memorial Stadium. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier. The Rams against the Cardinals. No score.
There goes another gas station. Are they ever going to stop?
The Corolla Tercel, Toyota's lowest priced car, gets such good gas mileage that for some, it could be a problem.
I got to stop at a gas station. Why, we haven't had to stop for gas in hours. We haven't stopped for anything. Do you know why I bought this front-wheel drive Toyota? A while gets the gas mileage. I'll stop, but I don't have to because this is Toyota's highest mileage car. And Lester, oh, 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 what a feeling. High mileage. Toyota.
Taste Sheridan. Taste Sheridan. Come to a Sheridan. I love the taste of Sheridan's.
You're gonna love every inch of the place. We've got taste.
Sheridan, you've got taste.
We've got style.
For a taste of Sheridan worldwide, call 800-325-3535.
We've got taste.
Catch a sneak preview of The White Shadow as he returns to New York for an unforgettable reunion with his friends and father. The highly acclaimed White Shadow, a special preview on a special night, Thursday.
2nd and 4 for the Rams at their own 23.
Eddie Hill is in there at the running back, so Elvis does have that hip pointer. I think we'll find out about that. Relay it on.
And Bill Bain has replaced Kent Hill at offensive guard. This is Cullen Bryant, and he's near a first down, not quite there, as Ron Yankowski brought him down, just shy of a first down.
Well, the similarities are really fantastic between these two clubs, though. Morris had over 100 yards rushing, and, of course, O.J. had 125, and, of course, Peacock had 114, and Cullen Bryant stays right in there at about a 4-yard average, too. Big fullbacks, good blockers, and once you get Bryant turned upfield, he is a load.
And Cullen Bryant is one of the running backs at the moment, along with Eddie Hill. 3rd and 1, perhaps not quite one, as Vince Ferragamo rolls out, looks, and he'll have the first down, gets out of bounds. Eric Williams is the man who shoved him out.
And he is a big, bony 215-pounder. A big kid from Nebraska that came right out of that California League, that Central League down there. He rolls out. He's not afraid to keep it. And watch this. He gets knocked out of bounds, but the shot went to the defender. He's under control.
A new score as far as the Patriots and the Dolphins are concerned, and New England, speaking of clubs who seem to have it all together, 17-0 over Miami, second quarter.
Cincinnati is leading the Pittsburgh Steelers, too, right now. It's 10-0.
Eric Williams watching him now move the yardage markers up, as Ferragamo perhaps was not as close to a first down as we thought. It appeared that he had it, and now he does.
Remember, he's calling his own plays, too, Pat. He's one of the quarterbacks that takes the game plan, and Radakovich and Malavasi and company get together with him. He calls his own plays about 90% of the time. Might throw it on first down, huh?
He has done it before, and whatever down he chooses, he has been very effective. Vince Ferragamo gives straight ahead Cullen Bryant. Cullen had a lot of room had he broken one tackle, but that was severe by Eric Williams in the middle of the Cardinal defense. Big Doug France, number 77. Vince Ferragamo, 304 yards passing last week, the best for a Los Angeles quarterback since 1976. And you go back to some great Los Angeles Ram quarterbacks over those years.
Sam Brocklin, Waterfield, Billy Wade.
The last Ram quarterback to better that statistic was James Harris against Miami.
Roman Gabriel, boy, they've had a list of
Waterfield. Bob Pollard on the deflection.
A real active defensive end, particularly against the pass. And Pollard now is playing the left end, which is also at the strong side of the running game. He's playing with a badly sprained ankle, and seemed like he was up on his toes pretty easily on that one, huh? Good play.
Minnesota Vikings 3-0 over the Chicago Bears. Cowboys on a touchdown pass from Danny White to Preston Pearson. I beg your pardon, Drew Pearson. 3rd and 8 here at 7-0 Cowboys, as we'll watch that one throughout the afternoon.
Four-man line on the pass rush, and the blitz is on.
Ferragamo straight back, gets away from one blitzer, but not the second one. Ken Green is the man who took him down.
And Favron was the linebacker that fired out of that nickel defense. Ferragamo looked for it. Watch the linebacker to the left now. The receiver now is the lower part. That's Denard. Favron makes him duck, and then the back that also blitzed put him away.
Word on Elvis Peacock is that he has a pulled groin, and it's very questionable whether he'll be back. On Kent Hill, a nose problem, and they think he will be back.
That's only the 7th sack that the Cardinals have gotten all year, but that might be one of the largest ones they'll ever get.
Frank Corral will kick. Mark Bell is the man they would like to handle it for St. Louis, and he does. And handle it well. Back to about the 47-yard line where he's knocked down by Jewel Thomas.
He looks like a kid in a Little League uniform out there, but he can really run back the punts.
Still no score in St. Louis at Bush Memorial Stadium with 5 minutes and 28 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
Diesel, the Oldsmobile phenomenon. It started in 1977, and the phenomenon grew. Because fuel economy, resale value, and choice are phenomenal. No wonder in 1981, over 150,000 people will buy diesel-powered Oldsmobiles. Phenomenal.
We've had one built for you, Oldsmobile.
Hey, a little one-on-one. I have to do some yard work. For a Michelob Light. I don't have to do any yard work.
Would good friends really go at it this hard just for a beer? Well, consider it's Michelob Light, and that means a rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
102 to 98. How did you do it? Defense?
Michelob Light. Compare the taste.
Next Saturday, they're on the muscle for the title in the world's strongest men competition. Next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern on the CBS.
Ottis Anderson jukes away from everybody but Bob Brudzinski. And the Cowboys have now gone 14-0 over the San Francisco 49ers. The second Cowboy touchdown by Ron Springs. Boy, is he a good runner.
Surprising thing about that one is the 49ers haven't scored yet. The Rams whooped them last week, but I'll tell you, San Francisco moved the ball all over the lot.
St. Louis has the best third down offense in the NFC. 38 out of 72, 53%. And that in itself is not all that good.
Get a hold of Pat Tilley right now and find out where he is.
Well, there he goes. It'll be hard to catch, and Hart comes straight back. Good protection. He's looking for tight end. Out of bounds and incomplete. Intended for Dave Steep.
Johnny Johnson made a superb play on the big tight end in the end zone. Tilley now goes up the sidelines and then tries to hold Perry on there, and he does. Now watch the tight end. Look at this coverage on the ball. Well, he is a #1 draft choice, a rich one, rather wealthy young person, but a great player.
And the Cardinals have inserted Steve Little from 44 yards out with Roger Worley holding.
He's hit his last 3 in a row. He missed his first 3.
His longest is 36, but not anymore. That one was long enough, but wide to the right. And Steve Little is not in that much good favor with the fans in St. Louis.
He's a great kicker. Sometimes they lose that rhythm they have in college. A lot of that has to do with, I guess, kicking it off a tee, doesn't it, Patrick?
It has a lot to do with it. Kicking it off the ground and off the tee, it's a totally different kind of swing.
You've got to hit greens in this league, you know?
Yeah.
Can't play out of the rough, kicking field goals.
You know, that's a pretty good comparison. The difference between kicking off a tee, like hitting off a tee in golf, and hitting out of the rough.
Look at that.
Hannafin is wired for sound, but not hearing anything at the moment. 1st and 10. 3:55 left first quarter. Kent Hill is back in the game, and this is Cullen Bryant for the Rams. And he got only a couple. Bob Pollard, number 82, on the bottom of that pile.
Against a 34, once in a while you can use misdirection. By that, the linebackers will overreact and run out. That time they tried it. The Cardinals really recovered, and they are really hitting. They are really tackling.
The Giants have increased their lead over the Eagles to 16-3 on a field goal by Joe Danello. That's still in the second quarter. First half not yet completed.
Meadowlands must be going out of their mind, huh?
They went out of their mind yesterday when Alabama just barely beat Rutgers 17-13. Second down, 7 for Ferragamo and the Rams. And Vince drops. Protection is better than good, more than adequate. And Ferragamo is near a first down, just shy. Steve Neal stopped him.
Boy, you ever see any better pass blocking? Remember, you got a 3-man rush. The linebackers stay out of the pursuit patterns. They drop a little deeper so they can make the tackles, but watch them drop out. I'll tell you, that's a war, and the Rams are going to win that one. They even kept Cullen Bryant in the block. And now you got the big quarterback going ahead to take it himself. A good block there on Carney. 3rd and short again, huh?
6 people blocking 3 people. And you'll always have a lot of time with that percentage. 3rd and 2 at the 35. Ferragamo. A book on him for the year, 4-yard average. He gives this time to Eddie Hill. He has a Ram first down.
Rams just broke everybody down that time and buried the defensive line. Short yardage. And Eddie Hill wasn't trying to go coast to coast. He just wanted to get the first down, or he might have been able to break that one.
The Rams are so big and tall. They just sort of stand up and lean on you. Look at Doug France. Like a mountain.
That kid Hill's back in there at left guard. He's almost as big as Big Doug.
They're all huge. Ponderous. Ferragamo gives on the delay to Eddie Hill. Good looking back. And boy, what a good looking runner he is. Ken Green and Roger Worley finally had to make the tackle. Down close to the Cardinal 41. The Rams on the roll again.
Eddie's only had a chance to carry the ball 18 times coming in. Boy, he made a good looking move that time and got Worley to take the inside move and dipped it outside. That team, you've got to stick around, and you don't want anybody else to get hurt, but the only chance you might have to play is when somebody goes down for a short time.
Eddie Hill is 6'2", 210, a rookie from Memphis State. And he could do it. 19 yards on that last pickup, first and 10 at the Cardinal 42. No scorers yet. 1 minute left first quarter. In St. Louis, this time it's Eddie Hill again. Nudges down to the 40. Tim Carney made the tackle.
What a good defensive play they made. That hole opened up on the line of scrimmage, and those linebackers came like a wave and just closed it off. See if we can watch this. See big kid Hill going through, get the linebacker. Look at them recover. Well, that's good defense.
Big smother block by Kent Hill. Colts now 17-6 over the last undefeated team in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills. And if that continues, there will be nobody who hasn't lost. Second and 8 at the 40. Probably the last play of the first quarter coming up.
Sense a blitz here maybe by the defense. Oh, they faked it.
And Ferragamo reads it. Overthrows Billy Waddy. Preston Denard, I beg your pardon, was the intended receiver, and Roger Worley, who's been an all-pro so many times that he should have a franchise.
Ferragamo is really mad at himself. Just simply a bad throw. He's had Preston sort of up off his feet on a couple of throws. Sometimes, you know, one side of the field or the other, it feels more comfortable certain days. That time, he was just high and wide.
And that was not the last play of the first quarter. An incomplete pass, of course, stops the clock. 10 seconds left to go first quarter. Line of scrimmage, the Cardinal 40.
They've converted 4 out of the 6 third down situations. Let's see what they do on this one.
Here's the blitz. And I thought there might be a flag, and there it comes. Pass interference is going to be called against Tim Collier of the Cardinals, against Drew Hill. Rams utilize all of their wide receivers and utilize them to a great degree of effectiveness.
Great call, though, if you're anticipating the blitz, right? The quick slant. Collier did bump him. It was a late flag because I think the official pulled the collar off his shirt and threw it for a minute. Here you are now. In the box is the receiver. He'll see their blitz, and as soon as he sees the blitz, he cuts it straight inside. Ferragamo beat the linebacker, and they're going to get the
pass interference. Number 44, defense, first down.
There is no question about that call, although you might hear a few boos. And we defend the defensive backs as often as I'm allowed to. No question about that one. Mike Cullen is the ball carrier here, and he gets 4 or 5 yards. And that, indeed, should be the last play of the first quarter, and is. That's the end of the first quarter with the score: the Rams nothing, the Cardinals nothing.
Just imagine if everyone drove a car like the Honda Civic DX, there'd be more room on the freeways. There'd be more space to park. And we'd probably all use less gas. The Honda Civic DX. It could make life a lot simpler.
Honda, we make it simple.
The value of your money is more important than ever these days. So get professional answers to financial questions like these.
Pop will be leaving the business in a few years to retire. Isn't now the time he should get professional advice on his retirement plans?
A good retirement program is important. For the advice you need, see your full-service bank. They've got the answers.
You know, this baby is really going to help me do a lot more work. I wonder, though, if I ought to buy it or lease it.
Let a professional help you decide what's best. See your full-service bank. They've got the answers.
My girls seem to have grown up faster than my income. Now Susan needs braces.
And Shelley's ready for college.
I guess we'll have to borrow some money. But there are lots of ways.
Which is best for us?
Keep your checking and savings at a full-service bank and get professional answers to your financial questions. America's full-service banks. We've got the answers.
The NFL on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Honda. We're kicking off our season with an all-pro lineup of cars. Honda, we make it simple. And by America's full-service bankers, ready to serve you where you see this symbol.
That's the situation in the National Conference Eastern Division. Dallas and Philadelphia tied for the lead at 4-1. Philadelphia losing, Dallas winning at the moment. St. Louis 2-3 and trying to get to 500. And that's what's going on in the Western Division. 3 teams tied for first place, and then there are the New Orleans Saints. 2nd and 8 here in St. Louis at the 25-yard line. Cardinals again faking and do blitz. And it works. There's Eddie Hill as well to pick up a yard perhaps. Bob Pollard.
The Rams had 63 yards rushing in the first quarter. Here's Victor Hicks, the big tight end out of Oklahoma, really in his first year. He's trying to cut off Pollard, gets a good position on him. The linebackers filling those holes coming out of that attacking defense did the job. Good defensive play. Ferragamo had 39 yards passing, 3 of 6.
So it'll be 3rd and 8 at the 25, and you'll watch Ferragamo drop, I'm sure, and you'll watch that Cardinal defense as they put in. No, you don't see him drop. It's Eddie Hill on 3rd down is cracked right at the line of scrimmage by Tim Collier. Strange call.
Collier really got a good solid tackle on the outside, and the big block was by Slater, but point of attack was all right. It was just the quarterback made a heck of a defensive play.
Jim Hannafin, the Cardinal coach, there's Collier right there. The Cardinal coach said this is certainly the best team we've played so far, with no insult meant to the Giants or the Eagles or the other folks they've played. And perhaps the best team we'll play all year is Frank Corral has Nolan Cromwell holding from 41 yards out. He has missed once. He's missed twice. Hit the left upright, and the Cardinals will take over.
In the old days, without the extended goalpost, that might have been called good if it had gone over the top, huh?
If I had been the official, it would have been. Corral from Cromwell. And the score remains 0-0 with 13:32 left to play in the first half at Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
Experience what lies beyond the sports car. American Motors introduces Eagle SX4, the new four-wheel drive sport machine. Eagle SX4 outcorners Trans Am in soft sand, out-accelerates Mustang Turbo.
Brudzinski on the tackle in the first quarter. The statistics look like that.
Rams have been doing a lot of moving of the football, but nothing on that scoreboard.
Look at the time of possession on the bottom. Rams 11 minutes, 14 seconds. The Cardinals, the rest of the first quarter.
Jim Hart running your team, though. You can score in 10 seconds very quickly.
Doug Marsh was the tight end who moved, and for 3 straight plays, it's Ottis Anderson. And again, stepping around.
We watched him as a rookie get 100 and some odd yards in his first game against Dallas. And the next game that you and I did down at Texas Stadium, we said nobody ever gets over 100 against Dallas the second time in the same season. By gosh, Anderson did it that day.
He did.
And he worked for every yard.
From West Palm Beach, Florida.
And not the fancy neighborhood either, boy, from a tough side of town.
Fancy side is just Palm Beach. West Palm Beach is a different story. 3 wide receivers in the game for St. Louis this time. And Hart drops. And the Rams beat. Hart trying to get rid of it. Couldn't.
Brzezinski blitzed from the right side, hit him right in the back. Good blitz that time by the the Rams at the right time. Nobody in to pick it up. Jimmy Hart knew the wrong play at the right time.
He knew to get rid of it, and he just barely did as the Rams really put the heat on.
Cardinals have not converted on third down yet. They're 0 for 3.
Larry Swider back to kick back in his own 41-yard line, and deep Johnny Johnson and Nolan Cromwell for the Rams. Swider will aim for the sidelines and just barely misses. The ball goes into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20, where the Rams will start to operate.
Swider's given Hannaford a little breathing room. At first, the kicking game for the Cardinals looked awful. Now it's beginning to look pretty decent.
The Rams will take over on 20. We come back.
In a world of good economy cars, Mazda introduces a great one, announcing the all-new 1981 Mazda GLC, now with front-wheel drive.
Just one look, that's all it took. Yeah, just one look, that's all it took.
The all-new Mazda GLC has 21% better mileage than before. And the more you look around, the more you like the looks of its price.
The more you look, the more you like.
All over America, do-it-yourselfers are becoming Stanley Super Doers. They're doing bigger things, and they're doing them better and better. They depend on Stanley tools for measuring things right, for shaping things right, for making joints fit right. Tools that work right are made by Stanley, the do-it-yourself company.
Stanley, we want to help you do things right.
For a super deal on the NFL Thermos jug and mugs, look for specially tagged Stanley tools.
Tuesday, a reunion beckons a man back to his high school girlfriend. But it's her teenage daughter who ends up stealing his heart. Reunion, a television premiere, Tuesday night.
Jerry Wilcox on the right, and the guy next to him is a good friend of ours.
Don Klosterman, the general manager. By the way, he said Hannaford, the St. Louis coach, grew up just down the street from him in Compton. That time they wouldn't let Hannaford play with him. They said, get that Hannaford kid out of here.
First down Rams, Cullen Bryant, the ball carrier. I beg your pardon, Eddie Hill, tailback. Cullen blocking in front of him. He's got a couple. 3 make it. 2nd and 7 at the 23.
I'm really impressed with the defense that the Cardinals are throwing up. Here's Acker now against Saul. Saul, one of the very, very fine technicians at center in the league. And Acker stayed with him and battled him and made the tackle on the line of scrimmage. Good effort by the rookie.
2nd and 7 at the 23. 11:28 left in the first half. No score. Both teams have had chances. Nobody's been able to convert. It's Ferragamo. Outside Cullen Bryant. And Cullen taken down on a great play by Tim Carney. Boy, is he a good player.
Perfect defense. That time Denard came from the slot in motion, went up the field. I think Ferragamo was going to unload it as soon as the thing opens up. He's waiting for it to set up. That's how you're a 71% completion quarterback. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I'm just saying that's how the stats are swelling these days.
Buffalo is now 17-9 as Baltimore leads 17-0 on a field goal by Raphael Septien. 17-0. The Cowboys over the 49ers second quarter. 3rd and 8 here in St. Louis. Passing down coming, and Ferragamo knows that and does that and completes it. And it's dropped by the tight end Victor Hicks. The pass just a little behind him. Pass that possibly should have been caught, but he was looking around for defenders.
Pretty good pressure this time by the front four. They shove everybody back sort of in Ferragamo's face a little bit. The ball thrown a little behind, catchable, but he's young.
Frank Corral. 1 punt so far today. The Cardinals should get it back in pretty good shape if they don't mishandle. His 1 punt today was 43.3 yards. Corral, one of the few double-duty guys around.
Ooh.
Oh, he rockets this one. Fair catch should be coming. Does not. Mark Bell, a Cardinal, gets back to the 40.
Every time Mark Bell touches the ball, everybody in red jumps up and down. It's exciting.
Willie Miller was the Ram down to make the tackle. 10-19 left to play in the first half.
Make a love like for the winning team, okay?
You guys would do that for us?
But a bunch of guys really go at it this hard just for a beer? Well, consider it's Michelob Light, and that means a rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
You guys never played like that before.
Hey, we never played for a Michelob Light before.
Michelob Light. Compare the taste.
Toyota Celica Super is life in the fast lane that's almost beyond belief. But the Super is not the only way to join the fast crowd. There's a now classic sporty Celica GT Coupe and the GT Liftback. And for those who would like a sporty Celica for a little less money, there's the ST, the lowest price Celica. To find out which one's for you, drive a Celica. Then just trust your feelings. A Celica selection. Toyota.
Hi there. Don't forget to stick around at halftime for all the highlights and scores from around the league, as well as a look at
Mrs. John Y.
Hi, fellas. Oh, wow.
That's fine with me.
Lights up our live. This secondary, by the way, for the Rams, they've had 4 interceptions run in for touchdowns. Jim Youngblood got one of them. Cromwell went coast to coast against the 49ers. Rod Perry went in for a touchdown early, and Johnny Johnson went 90-some-odd yards for one. They can score on defense.
99 he went. Jim Hart, the Cardinal quarterback, 1st and 10 from his own 40. No score with 10:19 left first half. The Cardinals against the Rams. 2 offenses have been scoring a lot. Complete. Tight end Doug Marsh.
Incomplete, they're going to call it.
Incomplete.
Boy, Marsh really made a good reception. And watch Jim Hart stay in the pocket, and it closes down around him. Pretty good rush. You can see Fanning working hard on the left part of your screen. He stayed right in there. The good quick drop by Jim Hart. If that isn't a completion, I don't know if I've ever seen one.
It's all going to be called back, however. Penalty marker down as the referee, Jerry Seaman, discusses things with Jack Youngblood and now Mike Fanning.
When the Rams stunt out of that 4-man front and they twist up front, they are really difficult to keep out of there. That's why some people run a little bit on them with draws and stuff, but they put heat on.
Jerry Seaman.
Holding number 72, offense.
That's Mr. Deerdorf. The rookie from Michigan almost made the catch, and I guess it's a good thing he didn't because the Rams would have recovered it, huh?
So it'll be 1st and 20 back at the 30-yard line of St. Louis. And I'd imagine that Jim Hart will draw a play or a screen right here. Just as good. Otis Anderson hit down by Mike Fanning.
Boy, good tackle, too. Otis was trying to use the sidestep that time to get through a very small hole, and he really got drilled right at the knees. I think the best way to tackle Anderson is to get him in the locker room before the game. He is dangerous.
He broke just about all of Chuck Foreman's rushing records at Miami U in Florida.
Didn't his first coach put him on defense in Little League ball or something?
He was a defensive back.
Who was that coach?
Not working. 2nd and 19 at the 31. Blitz is on. Hart looks, throws, a rebound, goes to nobody. Mel Gray was the intended receiver.
Pat Thomas really made a quick move. Those cornerbacks, 5'9", 5'10" apiece, Perry and Thomas, but they are solid. Let's see how the pass blocking is. They keep Otis in. He picks up the blitzing linebacker. I'll tell you, we almost...
That game now in the 3rd quarter. Cincinnati leads Pittsburgh 17-6 in the 3rd.
Steelers missed the extra point. They're a little bit shaky right now, aren't they?
Seem to be. No score here as yet. 9:11 left before the half. 0-0 Cardinals Rams. Cullen, Bryant, and Eddie Hill, the running backs. Then Ferragamo looking for points. Almost intercepted by the Cardinals.
I believe Ken Green almost got that one. He's got 4 interceptions. Also the leading tackler on that Cardinal team. Safety net.
4 interceptions tie him for the lead in interceptions in the NFC. Tie him, as a matter of fact, with the Rams' Nolan Cromwell.
Now that confused Ferragamo. He was standing there like that play should have worked. The zone should have been split. I think the Cardinals are going man-to-man a little bit more than the Rams probably thought they would.
They stick with that three-man front. 4 linebackers, 4 defensive backs. Eddie Hill. And Hill bangs out for about 8. Shy of a first down by a couple. Roy Green.
Good block by Victor Hicks, the big tight end. He took the outside linebacker and just turned him around. Watch the left part of your screen. Now you'll see 81 get the block as Hill sort of moves around. Oh, it's such a good block you didn't get to see it. He worked over 53 pretty well. That's nails. 3rd and short.
What would you say is the key to success of that three-man front? The linebackers or the nose man?
The linebackers, if they attack. If you get back there and sit in it, people will run you out of the ballpark.
3rd and 2, we'll call this one. This is Eddie Hill. And he's got the 2 and perhaps a couple more.
Cardinals have not made a 3rd down conversion in 4 shots. And the Rams just keep rolling them up, don't they? They keep moving those sticks all the time.
The important thing is that there is no score as yet. And after a while, the tide usually turns in the other direction. 7:45 left, second quarter. 1st and 10 at the 44 as Ferragamo goes for a punt for Drew Hill. Just over his head and no penalty marker down. Boy, was that close.
And Collier made a great play, though. Boy, he is a good-looking young cornerback. He's already had the flag on him for the interference call. Now he's been tested. First on the ground, he made a good tackle. Now watch this. The perfect call by Ferragamo. And Drew can run. Watch this play by 44. Outstanding. Outstanding.
All defensive backs under this new rule system are like they're on trial every play.
He's 6 foot, 174 pounds, out of East Texas State. Collier can play.
2nd and 10 for the Rams then as Ferragamo gives this time to Cullen Bryant with blockers in front, and Cullen has the first down and more.
Oh.
And big Cullen banging down inside the 22, inside the 25.
Jackie Slater trapped from the outside, the big offensive right tackle. Nobody was there, so he went through on the linebacker. Now watch 78 Cullen go down to the left part of your screen. There's the defense all stacked up. Watch 78 pull, go through the hole, looks for somebody else, and gets Cullen on his way. He just buried the safety man. And Cullen's a runaway truck.
He goes about 240 himself. First down Rams at the Cardinal 24. Ferragamo's going to throw on first. Good down. Complete to the tight end, Victor Hicks. Knocked down by Mark Arneson almost as soon as he caught it. But nevertheless, good gain for the Rams.
Ferragamo's beginning to feel it a little bit now. Looks like he's airing it out. He's not guiding the throws. Wouldn't you love to go to Malavese's press luncheon at the Rodeo Bar and Grill on Tuesday? That must be fun.
Ferragamo again, this time down the middle to number 86, Jeff Moore. First down again, Rams. We mentioned before that he utilizes all of his receivers. Everybody happy? And Moore picks up that first down. Watch the protection and what happens after.
Let's see if it's aggressive blocking, because it's just a pop pass. Here's the man in motion out of that short yardage offense. They'll go up and take a look at Slater taking him on, Pollard on right on the line of scrimmage. And here's what happens at the end of it. It's not all fun. There's a little bit of action going on. They're still going after one another.
First and 10 at the 10. Not first and goal. Cardinals blitz, and they get Eddie Hill at about the 8. Ron Yankowski and the safety men combine. Drew Pearson has caught his second touchdown pass from Danny White. And the Cowboys lead 24-0 already.
Drew was quietly complaining last week. He said, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm running great patterns in practice, and Danny just hasn't found me. Looks like Danny found him.
They say you got to keep practicing.
And everything. Keep working.
And everything will work out. 2nd and 9 at the 9. Ferragamo. Touchdown Rams. Willie Miller got loose in the end zone. The defender, I believe, was Tim Collier, perhaps Roger Worley. It was Worley who couldn't quite stay with him.
It's a 4th touchdown catch for Willie Miller. He's another one trying to get playing time. A great receiver. Vietnam veteran who came back and worked himself into the Rams lineup and is an outstanding young person.
And a great throw by Ferragamo. Nolan Cromwell will hold for Frank Corral.
Ferragamo's now 7 of 13. 60 yards and a TD.
Corral gets it done, and it's 7-0. There's Vince Ferragamo, who just threw that touchdown pass, so let's have another look at it.
We told Klosterman you better start signing him. Do it as soon as possible. He's a good leader, and he's a fine young quarterback. This throw is right on. Willie just turned it inside and out. Impossible coverage for the cornerback.
He even went from the sun to the shadows. Doesn't that make it more difficult, too?
Of course it does, and great receivers don't worry about it, but the defensive backs, my gosh, everything's going against you. Lionel Taylor has done a heck of a job, the receivers coach for the Rams, working with this man right here. I saw him stand off 30 yards from the goalpost yesterday with Lionel. There he is right there, Lionel Taylor. And Ferragamo hit the goalpost, standing on the end zone line with about a 30-yard throw. It hit the post right in the middle.
I think what Lionel Taylor did is more amazing. He threw it at the goalpost and hooked it between them.
He threw a slider.
From the sideline. There's Lionel. Boy, what a receiver.
Caught 100 balls one time with Denver, and at mile-high altitude, that's some kind of an accomplishment, the way they used to throw it in those days.
Stayed in the air a long time, didn't it? The scoring drive, 55 yards. They took them 9 plays. Took Ferragamo 9 plays, and they kept the ball just over 4.5 minutes.
They do it methodically and simply, but the Rams get it done, don't they?
Corral will kick it off, 1-step kick. Drives them back into the end zone. That's Roy Green who's going to bring it out. Penalty marker goes down at about the 15-yard line, and that's about as far as
39 clipped him. I think it was the 39 that clipped him. He didn't mean to. It's the hardest block to make in the world and do it within the limits of the law.
It's Willard Harrell who had the problem.
I thought maybe my sound had gone out in my headset, but I guess he's going to come back and tell us the number.
Oh, he'll tell us something else in a minute. As Jim Hart trots out to the Cardinal huddle, and they will operate from the difficult part of the territory.
Personal foul. Clipping number 59 and 52 on the receiving team.
59 and 52?
Oh, a double clip. Wonder if that's 30 yards.
Oh, it's half the distance.
Eagles look like they're beginning to motor a little bit now, but the Giants are still leading up at East Rutherford.
16-10 that score in the third quarter. Still a lot of time left in the third quarter there. Again, another penalty marker down as Wayne Morris was the ball carrier. Cardinals all out of sync.
Looked like Jack Youngblood may have jumped off the left side, but maybe he was pulled off.
False start, number 72, offense.
He was pulled off. That's quite a confrontation, which we'll be watching throughout the afternoon between Jack Youngblood and Dan Deerdorf. Steelers coming back just a bit. Bradshaw has hit Jim Smith with a touchdown pass at 17-13.
Deerdorf and Youngblood are good friends all the way from the college all-star game. And Deerdorf said that makes it a little tougher. But he's some kind of a pachyderm, that number 72.
85 is Steve DeBerg has thrown now a touchdown pass. They're still in the second quarter at Texas Stadium, and it's 24-7, first and 13 here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Jim Hart, the Cardinal quarterback, will give again to Morris. And Morris hurdles out to about the 10.
Jimmy Hart has got to be so careful the next couple of calls, particularly if he has to throw. For some reason, when the defense gets you down in the hole and you've just scored on a nice long drive, they hope that you put something up and perhaps under heat will throw it badly. But this secondary hounds you for that ball. This is a good secondary.
It is especially tough in a situation like this. And really, they're just starting to bring it back together. They've won 3 in a row. But the defense, after all their pre-training camp and training camp problems, start to do it now. And they do it again. Wayne Morris, the ball carrier, hit down by Cody Jones and Mike Fanning.
How about the list of the credits for Jim Hart as a person around this city of St. Louis? Is that incredible? The Fellowship of Christian Athletes, about 5 different things that he's the chairman of. And if you've ever had to be chairman of something like that, it takes time and details. You're still trying to raise your family and get ready for football. Nice to have a guy like him in town, isn't it?
Just to run it down, he's on the board of directors for multiple sclerosis, the Special Olympics, the March of Dimes, the Missouri Readathon, the chairman of the St. Louis Heart Association, the state chairman for cerebral palsy, and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Plus, for 15 years, he's just been a steady person. You know what? I remember when they first brought up Jim Hart, every pass he threw looked like a screen pass, baby. They came through on him from all angles in those days.
Hannafin and Hart. And next week on CBS, Dallas against Philadelphia. That ought to be some match.
I'm going to come out of the trees. We're going to do that game.
I'm going to be there. We can plant a tree. Detroit, Chicago. The Rams against those 49ers up in San Francisco. Giants out in San Diego. Well, maybe we should come back here.
I don't know if they'll invite us back or not. Keep hoping, don't we?
3rd and 7 from the 10. 3:38 left in the first half. St. Louis. Hart will throw, and the Rams will blitz. Hart has good protection. Does throw, and it's complete to Mel Gray. And Gray, the great speedster, is caught. Penalty marker goes down. He stepped out of bounds, perhaps, just after he caught it.
What a catch. The first catch by an outside receiver for the Cardinals today. The first one. Remember, Mel Gray has averaged 20 yards a catch ever since he came out of the University of Missouri. He is fantastic once he gets his hands on it. And this is some tough throw. Good pass protection. They're stunning up front, and here comes Brooks around the horn. Brzezinski blitzed. Good pass blocking. A great throw, but look at this catch. Yeah, he stepped out.
And you know what the significance of this is? That's Gray's first catch. They gave him the ball. They stopped the game because he has just set a Cardinal record for catching passes in consecutive games. That is 95, and that breaks the record held by one of the past Cardinal greats, Bobby Joe Conrad. First down, Cardinals, and a clutch one. Tom Banks, by the way, was shaken up on the last play, and Ron Coder has taken his place. They're looking at Banks on the sideline at the moment. Banks moved from center to guard this year. Hart's going to do it again. And this time intended for Tilley, who broke off the pattern. Hart thought he might continue, and Tilley didn't.
Youngblood just doubled Jim Hart up just as he cut it loose. And I think you're right. I think Tilley tried to run a fly and just broke it off. And Youngblood didn't allow Jim Hart to have any time to reload. Some competitor right there, huh?
Jack?
Uh-huh.
10 yards to go.
From Monticello, Florida.
Where is that?
You know where the capital is, Tallahassee?
Oh, yeah.
Up in the so-called Florida Panhandle.
It's a good country.
A lot of good hunting up there. 2nd and 10 at the 26. Rams blitz. Tilley catches. Struggles for about 5 or 6. Johnny Johnson, the safety man, took him down, number 20.
Is Tilley some kind of a receiver, though? About 170-something pounds, if that, wringing wet with a big rock in his pocket, probably. Look at him go inside, gives himself up, and Jim says you always know where he's going to be. The play before he didn't know, but Tilley hangs around that catch pretty often, doesn't he?
Great plus that must be for a quarterback. You see what Tilley had done before today, 27. 2 touchdowns, 356 yards, and a guy who looks like he doesn't belong on the football field, really. Jim Hart.
He had a 42-yarder against the Giants. Patrick, you were doing tennis, but it was one of the great catches of all time in this stadium. Left his feet, took the ball, and then rolled up like a ball and came out with it.
A conference between Hart and Hannafin over on the sideline.
You notice with Hannafin, it's a two-way street. He's listening and he's talking. Here's a guy, a veteran of 15 years. He has a lot of input into what they're going to do.
Tonight on CBS, brand new edition of 60 Minutes, followed by Archie Bunker's Place, One Day at a Time. That's the way we take it. Alice, the Jeffersons, the Trapper John, M.D. It's all tonight.
You're not going to get me to bite on that one, Trapper John. You know that the Rams have gone this far in this game without a penalty flag? They came in with like 40, one of the most penalized teams.
The most penalized.
And they've kept their hands to themselves, and meanwhile the Cardinals have had 5 penalties for 47 yards.
It is 7-0 Rams. 2:50 left in the first half. The Cardinals and the Rams have both used a timeout, so they both have 2 left. Our score is 7-0. Second quarter, 2:50 left. Tilley was in motion. Hart in the pocket. Throws complete. Dave Stief. S-T-E-S-T-I-E-F.
And Johnny Johnson really nailed him, and he came up with the ball. He's limping a little bit. Big pass rush by Reggie Doss that time, number 71. And Hart stayed right in there and threw against this team. And as you notice, he's sort of nickel and diming him right now. But trust him not, you know. With people like Mel Gray, he'll air it out in a minute and go for a straight.
At the 40. 2-minute warning coming up. Rams 7, Cardinals nothing, and Hart again safely in the pocket. Throws outside, complete. Wayne Morris will have a first down, St. Louis. And the clock will stop right now.
Brzezinski almost had the interception. Had he been able to get another foot, he was down the sidelines and gone.
7-0, Rams over Cardinals, the kind of game we expected.
If you had driven along this street just a few years ago, the cars would have been very different. But now, more and more people are driving cars like the Honda Accord 4-door sedan, with room inside for 4 adults and their possessions. It's a true sedan in every sense. In fact, the Accord 4-door is one of the most successful front-wheel drive sedans in America. Simple proof that society has outgrown the big sedan. Honda, we make it simple.
Here's another Radio Shack major computer breakthrough. The amazing new TRS-80 Pocket Computer, only $249. Imagine a basic language computer that weighs just 6 ounces. Now carry TRS-80 power in your pocket while traveling, on the job, solve problems, process data, and store it in permanent memory for instant recall. The amazing TRS-80 Pocket Computer, only at Radio Shack, the biggest name in little computers.
Catch a sneak preview of The White Shadow as he returns to New York for an unforgettable reunion with his friends and father. The highly acclaimed White Shadow, a special preview on a special night, Thursday.
With Tom Brookshier, Pat Summerall at Busch Stadium, St. Louis.
This is the quarter that the Rams have been running amok. They had 78 points in the second period coming into this game today. But the 7 they have has really been harder, and the Cardinals have hit them a lick.
Philadelphia has gone ahead of New York now, 17-16. The Giants did miss an extra point, and so Philadelphia with 14 in the third has gone ahead, 17-16.
Big Tommy Banks has injured his left knee. The big center now playing right guard. He'll be checked out at halftime. And knowing Banks, the big fella probably will be back to play if at all possible.
And speaking of those 17-16 scores, the Steelers got 16 in the third, and it's 17-16 Cincinnati.
What's happening to the kickers in this league on extra points?
They keep moving them back. Jim Hart calling the signals. 2 minutes left first half as Hart gives to Ottis Anderson. And again, he does those unbelievable moves. That can only be done by instinct.
If he'd have gone to the outside, to the right side, it darn near opened up for him. Now watch how he makes a nothing play almost. If he gets back to the outside right there, Fanning got a little piece of him. Brzezinski finally fell on him, he and Reynolds. I'm telling you, he might have been gone. The Rams are a good tackling team, my friend.
2nd and 8 at the 48 as Hart drops. Youngblood to the outside, pass complete to Gray. And he is hit down hard.
Pat Thomas, is that a good example of good tackling?
Wow.
You imagine coming up at full speed and getting Mel Gray in his tracks and dropping him?
Pat Thomas is not that big, but watch him this time.
They're in the prevent, a three-man rush, which really the Rams, I don't think they like to play it because the linemen, it just seems like they don't get as much pressure and they got so many people banging them. Now watch this tackle. Full speed, Mr. Slippery. It's class.
Timeouts remaining now. St. Louis only has 1. The Rams have 2. It'll be 3rd down and 7 at the Ram 47. #21, of course, is Nolan Cromwell. Rod Perry, the other cornerback, is number 49. 27, Pat Thomas, who just made that tackle.
Cromwell might be the best athlete in this league. You know what? They said he went to that Superstars competition, and the obstacle run and all that, they said he jumped over everything. The big wall and all that, he just jumped over it. He's an incredible athlete.
A world-class hurdler.
About 6'2", about 198 pounds. Can jump out of the building. And you know, he comes out, he's the first guy out of practice, and you have to take the ball away from him to get him to come in.
He was, of course, a option quarterback at Kansas U. Los Angeles 7, St. Louis nothing. Second quarter with 1 minute 15 seconds left to play. Absolutely perfect afternoon in St. Louis.
And I'll tell you, the Cardinal defense has really made this a football game. They have played the heck out of the Rams, at least even though they're trailed.
3rd and 7. He's 2 out of 6 on 3rd down conversions, is Jim Hart. He sends again Tilley in motion. And Hart will drop, and the Rams do a little loop-de-loop. Oh, what a hit and an interception by Reynolds. Jack Reynolds knocked out of bounds. Pass was intended for number 33, Theodis Brown, and Theodis really took a lump. Wow, what a hit this is. Look out.
The attack on defense. Watch this, the three-man rush. Jack Reynolds goes back deep very quickly. Look at this hit. Who was it that made it? Johnny
Johnson.
And Hacksaw comes out with the ball, and that's not an accident. For some reason, the Ram defense is looking for the darn ball all the time. Now watch right in the middle, right where the official is. Watch Hacksaw really get it going to get back deep quickly. There he is, 64, back quickly. And that Johnny Johnson made a nudge on the outside of the receiver and now comes over and really takes the 225-pound fullback apart.
That's some nudge. Wow. Johnny Johnson's not that big. He is rich, of course.
You don't play football at Texas and not tackle and be All-American, right?
First down, Rams at the 39. The Rams still have 2 timeouts, and they're going to go to work. Intended for the tight end, Victor Hicks. Incomplete.
Boy, Ferragamo is got to really be talking to himself right now. Let's see if he is. Wide open, the tight end cleared right down the middle. Double zone to the outside. Look at him. You think he doesn't want to reload that one?
Timeouts remaining. There's Johnny Johnson, number 20. Loaded up some leather on Theodis Brown.
He keeps talking to me about going back to El Paso. Remember we did the Sun Bowl game down there with
Yes, I do. And, of course, we will go back to El Paso.
Afraid you'd say that.
If they'll accept us. Victor Hicks again, the intended receiver.
Came back with the same play. Same result, too. I've seen Ferragamo throw the ball better than he has today, you know?
Yes, much better. Well, you look at his stats over the last few weeks. Over 300 yards last week. A couple of weeks in a row, he was like 15 out of 19. 16 out of 20.
7 out of 15 today.
guess is a backhanded tribute to the Cardinal defense. Four-man front this time. Four-man rush, they'll show him. Flags go down. Ferragamo goes up with it. Pass was almost picked off by Ken Stone. Jeff Moore, the intended receiver, but penalty markers down.
The Cardinals got early penetration. That might have been pulled off, but they were coming on the pass rush.
.55 seconds left on the clock in the first half. The Rams, 7-0. Touchdown pass by Vince Ferragamo. Put him up. Here's Jerry Seaman again.
Offside, number 82, defense.
Bob Pollard got that early penetration.
Glad we don't have those calls and worry about the webbings and gloves and whether they trap it or not, right? Talk about getting hanged.
It'll be 3rd and 5 at the 34. Drew Hill in motion, and he swings uphill and has it. And Drew Hill, penalty marker again down.
Boy, what a clever play. The man in motion ducks back, comes all the way back under, right on almost the line of scrimmage, and they drop the ball off to him. A great offensive play.
How far you figure he had to run before he made that reception from where he began?
He had to run 35 yards just to get it. Here he comes. Watch this now. Watch him duck and sort of go back inside the tight end all the way across. Knowing everybody is vacated, he filled that vacuum very quickly. He's quick, too.
That is Drew Hill. Not very big, but very effective. Penalty marker against the Cardinals.
Holding, number 37, defense, decline.
Holding on the defense, declined, as they say.
That means downhill, right? Oh, that's incline, I guess. No, that's uphill. Story of my life.
Yeah. Drew Hill was the receiver. It's first down Rams at the 19. And Drew goes in motion again. This is Cullen Bryant behind the blocker. And a big blocker indeed. Kent Hill scored. Cullen Bryant didn't. Ken Stone made the tackle.
Kent Hill, talking about a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech. Watch 72. He'll come left to right or right to left on your screen. Watch this. Now you're a cornerback, folks, and you're going to go up and get in front of that. He stays on his feet. Of course, that's the way people become great. He's still looking for somebody.
As I said, he scored.
Give me the ball.
You're looking at Cullen Bryant and Drew Hill come rolling around the corner like that. A cornerback is looking at almost 600 pounds. One timeout remaining for both clubs, St. Louis and Los Angeles. Ray Malavasi.
You can't hide anymore either, you know. You used to be able to hide in the old days when we played. No television replays and all that. You could grab a guard and pull him on top of you or anything that you could to get out of the shot.
Now the only thing I guess you could do is fall down early.
Crawl under the rug.
And then you smother, I guess. New England still rolling. Matt Cavanaugh leading this time.
By the way, Don Strock has been knocked out of that game for Miami. He has a concussion. And young David Woodley's in there at quarterback for the Dolphins.
24-0 New England. 31-7 now Dallas at the half. Not quite the half, I beg your pardon. Tony Dorsett has just scored for the Cowboys.
Rams can really nail you now if they get something here and go into the dressing room with two impressive drives in the second period. This hurts.
2nd and 1. It's only about a foot. Drew Hill again in motion. Ferragamo looking. Incomplete.
Indecisive that time. Vince did not get the look that he thought he was going to get, and that was a tentative throw.
Stops the clock with 36 seconds left in the first half.
He'll probably come back down the pipe and try to get somebody down the middle of the field for the next throw and then get the kicker out there if a problem arises.
Philadelphia has gone ahead now of the Giants 24-16. Touchdown by Louis Giamona, who is somebody's son-in-law or brother-in-law.
Vermeil's nephew.
Well, here's Cullen Bryant. And the big train roll. Down inside the 5 to about the 3 with 29 seconds.
230-some-odd pounder. Used to play defensive back in Colorado. I don't know who was coaching there then. Seemed like you'd put him on offense, wouldn't you?
Put him wherever he wanted to play.
He ran back kickoffs for the Rams for years.
St. Louis has one timeout left. The Rams have just burned their last one. And Cullen, our friend, out talking with the regulars. Ray Malavasi in conversation with, there's Heckle.
Nobody gets closer to the players than the guy that brings out the fluid out there in the middle of the huddle, you know it? At least they don't have to get the mud off your cleats anymore. Remember those guys used to come out there with those spatulas and try to get the mud out of your cleats?
There's always the smallest guy out there, but I never saw anybody refuse. Either the water or the cleats.
I used to keep the spatula. That was the only defensive thing I had.
Come on now. I know better. I played against you. It'll be 1st and goal from the 4. That pass interception by Hacksaw Reynolds set up this whole thing after a tremendous hit on Theodis Brown by Johnny Johnson.
It's 11 interceptions the Rams have come up with so far this season. And you've seen them hatch it on defense. Boy, they're tough.
That front line of theirs, that offensive line, is not only heavy, it's treetop tall. They just sort of lean on you. Here's Ferragamo throwing incomplete.
Ken Green, I believe, made the defensive play on Willie Miller. Or
Roger Worley.
It was Roger.
Willie Miller, the intended receiver, yes.
What a good play. The moment of truth, right? This is what El Cordobas worried about. The ball's there, contact's made, it's legal, and there's no flag.
El Cordobas?
He was the great bullfighter.
I thought it was El Cordobas.
Well, depending on where you were raised, I guess.
That's what he worried about. The moment of truth.
The horns.
Here it comes now. Ferragamo, same play. Ferragamo. Touchdown Rams. I didn't see any hands for a minute. I thought he might have stepped out of bounds, but he didn't. And then Ferragamo rolls in.
First touchdown rushing for Ferragamo this year. Rolls out behind big people. Look at Slater working with Pollard. Stays on his feet all the way and drives Pollard into the end zone. One of the good defensive ends, and Slater buried him. Watch 78 now, right in the middle of your picture. Well, you won't see him, but he's doing the job. They look at that in movies on Monday afternoon in L.A., I'll tell you.
Ferragamo knew exactly what he was doing. And so does Frank Corral, with Nolan Cromwell holding. It is 14-0, the Los Angeles Rams over St. Louis, and the Cardinals will have some work in front of them when they come out for the second half. Let's see what they do, though, first with the final 16 seconds of the first.
Boy, and you know, Hannafin can't be too unhappy that, what do you tell the defense? They're hitting, they're banging people all over, and they just somehow can't handle the strength of the Rams. We've said it before, they are physically strong and they're mean. And you know, they were complaining about the beds were too small in the hotel, and Dreyer said that he was living in a closet the last couple of days, and that is a good sign for a football team to be uncomfortable on the road, you know? They're happy, they don't play tough.
I never thought that was a good sign.
That's what our coaches used to tell us. This is the way you're supposed to like it.
One of the Rams told us that they had a very small room, but it had 5 closets.
They said they had to dress one at a time.
Of course, nothing to put in the closets.
I can't see Slater and Doug France in anything but a giant suite. I can't imagine them in a small hotel room.
Frank Corral will kick it off. Willard Harrell and Roy Green will be back deep for the Cardinals. Green is 25, Harrell 39. There they are.
Pat, he's been cutting down his takeoff for the kickoffs because of that calf injury. It's a scribbler, huh?
That was intended to be so. Number 36, Rod Phillips, an ex-Ram. Brought it back to about the 30, and let's see if the Cardinals run out the clock with 11 seconds to go and one timeout left, or if they just say, hey, we might as well try to get what we can get.
Hannafin's sort of a chalk thrower. He'll go in there at halftime and try to pick this thing up and say, come on now. We're still in the game, 14 points is not forever.
Hart checks in. Ram defense seems to get stronger and stronger.
They've kept Anderson fairly well in check, even though he's shown how brilliant he is.
No run out the clock. Let's go after whatever we can get. The official threw his hat down on the far side of the field. Johnny Johnson was the Ram nearest. No Cardinals around.
They almost didn't get that thrown out of bounds. He and Johnson and Thomas went over there and jumped up and darn near came back with it.
We'll knock it back to you if you'll accept it. 6 seconds left in the first half. Rams 14. Cardinals nothing.
Crowd's quiet. I guess you have to expect that. Nobody's gone home yet.
Hart will go to work again. Screen pass, Willard Harrell. Harrell hops out of bounds, and that should do it for the first half. And it does.
Brzezinski that time played that darn screen like Yasha Heifetz plays the violin,
Touchdown pass by Vince Ferragamo. Touchdown run by Ferragamo. 2 extra points by Frank Corral, and the Rams at the half in St. Louis lead 14-0. And there is number 15. You heard him say perhaps earlier in the day that he still is in the midst of negotiations with the Ram organization. Really don't want to get too much into that.
If they're only paying him $52,000, they better tear up the contract and get one written. You don't want to insult talent like that.
So Vince Ferragamo has had a good first half, and the Rams have too, particularly the Ram defense. Shortly, we'll be bringing you up to date on what's going on throughout the National Football League this weekend as we swing back to New York with Brent Musburger, Irv Cross, and Phyllis George Brown.
Phyllis George Brown.
So we'll be doing that momentarily. It's 14-0 Los Angeles. St. Louis trailing.
Before the station wagon became a station wagon, it had to be something a lot more. It had to be a Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz didn't invent the station wagon. They just raised it up to Mercedes-Benz standards. Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world.
Outside, the Canon NP200 may look like any small copier, but inside there's a world of difference, a world of micronics, where 20 copies a minute are not only possible, but made reliable with a microcomputer. Fiber optics precisely defines your image, and a toner projection system gives you clear copies on virtually any paper. Up to 11 by 17. Compact in size and price, the Canon NP200 is definitely worth looking into.
Arco Graphite, the black super oil, challenges the best oil from Mobil, Quaker State, and Pennzoil on engine wear. That Arco Graphite is better because it reduces friction better. That's why it reduces engine wear better, which can give your engine a longer life than any leading motor oil. So help give your engine a longer life. Use Arco Graphite, the super oil that's fact, not friction. Look for the Arco Graphite refund offer during September and October.
Monday, it's the 14th Annual Country Music Association Awards. Direct from Nashville, with Barbara Mandrell and Mac Davis, playing host to Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, the Charlie Daniels Band, Larry Gatlin, Crystal Gale, Loretta Lynn, Ronnie Millsap, Ann Murray, Charlie Pride, Burt Reynolds, Dottie West, Don Williams, and many more. The greatest stars of country music, performers and presenters on country music's biggest night. Monday at 9:30, 8:30 Central and Mountain, the Country Music Association Awards.
Back live in New York, I'm Brent Musburger with Irv Cross. The three best teams in the NFC may now be the Dallas Cowboys, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at how the Eagles came back on the New York Giants after an early fumble by Giamona. He has now scored 2 touchdowns, and the Eagles are dominating the Giants in the fourth period. Meanwhile, Buffalo about to fall from the unbeaten ranks as they trail the Colts and Burt Jones 17-9 in the fourth. Jones went 38 yards to Siani for a touchdown. Green Bay hanging tough in Florida. They lead the Buccaneers 14-7 in the fourth. Dickey 6 yards to Paul Kaufman in that game. Cincinnati hanging on to a 1-point lead over Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has won 18 straight games at home, but quarterback Kenny Anderson has been injured for the Bengals. He was just taken off the field on a stretcher. Miami tried, struck. He came up short. Went to Woodley. Greasy couldn't play because of an injury. And New England leading 27-0 in the fourth. Grogan went 33 yards to Harold Jackson. Kavanaugh threw a touchdown pass to Russ Francis, and Grogan is now being rested. He is not hurt. Minnesota clinging to a 3-0 lead on Chicago. That game is at the half. And, of course, many of you are watching the Rams over St. Louis. 14-0. Vince Ferragamo, 9 yards to Willie Miller, and Ferragamo a 4-yard run. And there it is, the Dallas Cowboys. Danny White can do it. He has hit Drew Pearson for 3 touchdowns, 16, 22, and 17 yards. And you know, most of the college football we look at this broadcast involves the big-time schools with elaborate facilities, schedules so demanding that they sometimes produce young men who are athletes before they are students. But this week, Irv takes a look at the New England Football Conference and a school that is oceans away from that sort of thing.
Prior to the opening of football season, most head coaches are asked to give a forecast of the upcoming year. How many games are you going to win? How strong is the running game? Of course, these questions are all important. But at Massachusetts Maritime Academy, there's a consideration even greater, because over half the football team is in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. More exactly, 42 varsity players are undergoing sea training aboard the Academy's training ship, the Bay State. Players even attending classes have some coaches baying at the moon. But every Massachusetts maritime student must complete a 60-day training cruise to help qualify for his merchant marine officer's license. This cruise was to have ended before the season started, but mechanical problems scuttled that.
Time out there, give him some time. Pick him up, pick him up!
It's very hard to explain, but it was almost like a part of me was on board the ship when it left on September 6th, because we do have a small college program. We do get very close to our players, and as a matter of fact, the atmosphere on campus is one of very closeness between the faculty and all of the cadets on campus.
Thinking about those 42 ball players out to sea, do they have a special training program of some kind to maintain while they're out to sea?
Yes, they do. The players on board the ship work out in the universal gym, and that is the weight aspect of the program. They also do some running, which is in the ladder well on board the ship. And on our stadium deck, we get involved with agility drills. We work on quickness, and we do a number of drills that emphasize quick feet in this type of setting.
Sea legs, rather than Charlie horses, plagued the team's coordinator aboard ship.
During our first workout, I counted heads, and I noticed that one of our top defensive players was not there. He showed up halfway through the workout and looking a bit green, and he took me aside and said, "Coach, I can't participate." And I said, "What's the problem?" I fear that he might tell me he's not going to do football this year or something. But he said very, very confidentially that he was seasick, first time on a ship, and please not to tell the rest of the people.
Green, and not from seasickness, were the 33 freshmen making up the core of the team. After being torpedoed in the opening game, the Academy faced stormy weather and gale warnings. But a big fourth quarter play against Nichols meant anchors away.
The greatest victory that we've ever had in this program. You guys made it happen under
probably the best. Perhaps the most adverse conditions that we could possibly have. It shows you what a little perseverance and a little belief does.
Irv, how have the Buccaneers done?
Tied for first in the conference with a 3-1 record, but this upperclassmen come back the first week in November.
All right. The NFL Today will continue on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
This week, 60 Minutes invites you to lunch at the best restaurant in the world. One of 3 brand new stories tonight at 7, 6 Central and Mountain on CBS.
Now, as many of you know, Green Bay waived kicker Chester Marcol this week, saying they were disappointed with the height and the depth of his kickoffs. Marcol, a 9-year NFL veteran, was the league scoring champion in 72 and 74, and he's this week's example of how quickly you can go from hero to GOAT. He was the hero in this season's opener when he ran in his own blocked field goal attempt for the winning points against the Chicago Bears.
Chester has made an impact on this football team in the years that he's been here. This is part of the difficulty of making a decision like this.
I'm disappointed. I'm hurt. I'm not bitter.
Now, Marcol says he received 2 Novocaine shots before the Miami game last October and another shot the following week when the Packers played the New York Jets.
In order for me to been able to play that game, I had no choice but to take shots. Very privately, both of us talked. He asked me how I was doing. I says, Coach, as far as right now is concerned, there is no way I can kick tomorrow unless I get Novocaine shots. He says, well, at this moment, because we didn't have a chance to get anybody else in here and we have nobody that can kick, I think this organization nor you has no choice.
Yes, I did tell him or say that we would have to do that because based on what our doctors had said at the time, I simply responded in that fashion.
They asked me not to say anything to the press after the game because the Green Bay Packers have not told anything to the National Football League that I was questionable, probably, or whatever the case might be that they have to report. And I hope lightning strikes me dead or a roof falls on my head at this second, if that's a lie.
The league, Irv, of course, is investigating that situation, not because Chester Marcol used Novocaine. He was not the first, nor will he be the last. But because the injury was not reported to the commissioner's office, the NFL has very strict rules about reporting injuries, just so they can avoid a possible gambling coup. Now let's show you how the Green Bay Packers are doing this afternoon against the Buccaneers in Tampa, Florida. And the Packers have turned in a good game today. Here's Dickey going play-action James Lofton, Irv.
Pretty good delivery here. He has ample time, hits Lofton, and he drives their club down in the scoring position.
And from there, it was Turdell Middleton off tackle for the touchdown. But then the Bucs got a big break. This interception by Richard Wood.
Richard Wood, they call him Batman now there. He's kind of a loosey-goosey guy, Brent. Picks this one off and rambles all the way in for the Bucs score.
Now, after this touchdown, which tied the game at 7, then Dickey came back and hit his tight end. But now the Bucs have scored on a 9-yard run by Williams. They are tied at 14. Meanwhile, Louis Giamona, forced into the starting lineup because of the injury to Montgomery, fumbled early against the New York Giants. They recovered on the 1.
They recovered on the 1 on the first offensive play they had. Phil Simms goes in for quarterback sneak and a score.
Now, Simms then also, Irv, threw to Johnny Perkins, and it was suddenly 16-3 Giants.
Well, the first half of the game was all Giants. Here he goes in and scores, but the second half, the tide turned.
Watch Ron Jaworski to Louis Giamona. Did you ever see a player come back stronger from an early fumble?
Well, Dick Vermeil's nephew.
Do you think that Dick might have had a few words to say to him, Irv?
I'm sure he did. His ears were blistering for sure. Here he goes in there for a score.
Now, here's the man Irv Cross found at Jackson State last year. Said, watch him. His name is Perry Harrington. He turned it loose. Irv is too modest. I'll tell you, that's the reason why the Eagles drafted that young man. Now watch Louis Giamona get in there again for another 4 yards away. And Irv, would you believe that Keith Krepfle is also healthy?
Keith Krepfle is a big cog on the Eagles' offensive wheel. The Eagles, by the way, second half only allowed the Giants 18 yards passing and 11 yards rushing.
Cullen Bryant for the Rams against the St. Louis Cardinals. Turned it loose for 20 yards from scrimmage. Here's Vince Ferragamo going to Willie Miller.
What a year he's having. He's ranked the #1 quarterback in the National Football Conference.
He can also run. Watch this. Keep it, Vince. Receivers are covered. What a great offensive line that is. Oh, my. One of the best of the NFL. Let's send you back now to the stadium and the game that you're enjoying.
Bush Memorial Stadium, St. Louis. Second half just about to commence with the Los Angeles Rams leading the Cardinals 14-0. Both teams back on the field, back on the sidelines, and just about ready to kick it off.
At JCPenney Auto Centers, we won't give you the business because we want to keep your business.
They didn't sell me the JCPenney battery. They said the 5-year battery was powerful enough for my car. It was.
I thought I needed new shock absorbers. They told me my tires were too hard.
I came in for ordinary radials. I came out with new Mileage Maker XP all-season steel-belted radials. They steered me right.
JCPenney Auto Centers, we won't steer you wrong.
Michelob brings you the 7-day weekend, all America style. Americans love weekends, not just the Saturday and Sunday kind, but whenever we take time to enjoy the good things in life, like the smooth and mellow taste of Michelob. Because all over America, Michelob helps make any time feel a little like a weekend.
Hey, put a little weekend in your week.
Yeah.
Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier, Busch Stadium in St. Louis. It's 14-0. The Los Angeles Rams leading as Frank Corral kicks off to open the second half of play, and Roy Green juggles and stumbles outside to about the 23 where he's knocked down by the Ram coverage led by number 23, Lucius Smith.
Incredible statistic. The Cardinals only had, Jim Hart and company only had 28 offensive plays. That's very indicative of what it is. The Rams have held Anderson to 46 yards on 9 carries.
There's the whole story. The Rams had the football almost 20 minutes in the first half. The Cardinals, obviously, a little over 10 minutes. Right now, the Cardinals open on the first offensive play of the second half. Wayne Morris, Ottis Anderson. Penalty marker goes down on that first play. We'll wait and see what it is.
Going to be some holding right in the line of scrimmage. Freddie Dreyer made the play. And I think if the Cardinals are going to get back into it, they have got to get Anderson somehow outside and get him on the scoreboard. If they're going to go, they got to move with 32.
There was no infraction on the play.
A new infraction or no infraction?
I think the fellow just dropped his handkerchief. He just dropped it by mistake, I think.
I used to play that a long time ago.
Dreyer comes down from the defensive end spot. They might have thought for a while that he had the face mask, but he didn't have it that time.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. No gain on the play as Fred Dreyer comes from the offside to make the tackle. Hart puts Tilly in motion. And Hart drops. Good protection. Hart throws. And behind the intended receiver, Ottis Anderson, who is knocked down.
Now Bostic and Banks, both offensive guards that started, are out of action in the second half for the Cardinals. Now the pass protection is pretty good this time. Now you've got new people in there that are blocking. Brahaney's dropping back to center to pick up. He does so on Cody Jones. Protection was good. Play was really covered extremely well, though. They're trying to get the ball to Anderson.
The offensive guards for St. Louis now are Coder, that is Ron Coder, number 61, and Barney Cotton, number 60. Both not regulars. Both the regular guards are out.
Remember, Terry Steve and Wortman. Of course, Bob Young is no longer with the team. They've had to revamp the whole offensive line anyway.
And Hart has some revamping to do right now as Fred Dreyer again leads the charge, aided by Bob Brudzinski.
That's Dreyer's. He's got 3.5 sacks coming in. So I guess you're going to have to make him a 4.5 sacker right now.
Holding.
Against the Rams means they might one of the linemen might have grabbed somebody to allow the linebacker to clear on the blitz.
That, of course, would be an automatic first down. And a break. Not what you could really term a big
Number
break.
47, defense, first down.
Leroy Irvin is number 47 for the Rams, and he's the man who's guilty of that infraction. And it is indeed a Cardinal first down at their own 27-yard line.
Buddy Carson has done some job, the defensive coordinator for the Rams, huh?
He, do not forget, was also the defensive coordinator for the Steelers in the beginning of their Super Bowl reign. This is Wayne Morris, who has been really held in check today. Not enough for a first down, out to about the 30. Jack Youngblood.
Boy, the Rams really jumped on him this time. Watch everybody on the line of scrimmage really take a shot at their players. Watch Brzezinski get rid of the blocker, move into the hole, and everybody that was down, the down four, took shots at people that timing. Hacksaw Reynolds came up and hit a guy a shot, too.
It was Youngblood and Brzezinski who made the tackle. 2nd and 6. 34-0 now, New England over Miami as Ottis Anderson breaks near a first down. Larry Brooks, number 90, made the tackle. You recall these two teams played last year, and the Rams won 21-0. And so far, they had the Cardinals shut out today, 14-0, third quarter.
Jim Hart's, the problem is right now you can block one or two of that front four, and the guy you can't handle that one play like Brooks that time makes it. That time Youngblood, Deerdorf handled him very well and sort of blew him off the ball, but somebody else collapses on it.
It is first down, Cardinals. You look at the regular front four, which includes Youngblood, Jack, Cody Jones, Larry Brooks, and Fred Dreyer, and you look at the backups, which include young Reggie Doss, whom they say is a superb player, Phil Murphy, number 95, who is a full house alone, and Mike Fanning, number 79.
Hart is 7 of 15 in the first half for 72 yards. One interception, but no touchdowns.
Doug Morris is number 87. Here's Wayne Morris. He is whacked right in the middle again. Let's run around some scores right now. This is late in the fourth quarter. Last time we checked, they had about 4 minutes left in that one, and it's 14-all. And 17-12, that also late in the fourth quarter. The Colts over the Bills.
Like the pattern of play the Cardinals have come out with, though. There's the Patriots over Miami. Don Shula's got his problems, but
that's not as late as they'd like it to be.
I'd like for the St. Louis team's idea about patience and confidence and coming out to us.
Hart, tight end. Doug Morris. That's near another first down.
Where did the tight end come from? Let's look. You're looking at that, the down four going. Reynolds comes out. Looked like Jim Youngblood stayed with the tight end and then released him, and then he got it open somehow in there. He's the rookie from Michigan that's done such an incredible job. The tight end has about 9 things to think about on every play. It's a hard position for a rookie to play. Marsh is doing a good job of it.
It is first down, Cardinals at their own 48. Opening minutes of quarter number 3 at Busch Stadium, St. Louis. Rams up 14-0. Ottis Anderson can do things that very few can. Looked like they had him trapped in the backfield for a loss, and he just turned it on for about a 4-yard gain.
Jim Youngblood thought he was clipped or held. The main thing is that Anderson just came up and sort of shuffled for a minute and went by both Youngbloods in a second. Darn, he's quick.
It's unbelievable how it looks like you have him and then you don't.
Watch the lower left part of your screen, 53 there, and see what happens. Youngblood claimed he was held. That's Morris making the block on him. Pretty good looking tackle. Look at this under a full head of steam, number 32.
2nd and 6. He got 4 yards out of very little. Tilly goes in motion. Again, it's Ottis. Now it's Mel Gray, and Mel has no place to go. Ducks under a couple and does well to get back to the line of scrimmage.
See, Youngblood's still mad from the play before. And boy, he saw that reverse coming. He couldn't wait to get everybody collared up and do a job. Big Jim will knock you.
So will Nolan Cromwell. So will the rest of that Ram group. Cody Jones, number 76. See what happens to the read here.
All right, watch the reaction now. You're looking at the entire secondary. Watch them go over, do their job where it looks like it's going. Gosh, you can see Perry and Youngblood. They even got Cody Jones out there helping them fill that thing. It's like they were in the St. Louis huddle.
3rd and 9 as Tilley again swings in motion, and Hart will have to throw, and does. Will try, and does. Incomplete, intended for Mark Bell, the wide receiver.
They're searching for it. Jim Hart that time had the time. Looked like he might have thrown it not exactly when he wanted to. This guy's a pretty good punter. He's had one block. Be interesting to see if maybe the Rams decided to put a big rush on him this time.
This is Larry Swider, S-W-I-D-E-R. His average today has not been all that good, but the returns have not been substantial either. That's Billy Waddy, this time back deep for the Rams, number 80. Swider hangs another one high. Won't be too much of a return on this one. Oh! What a hit. A flag goes down. Waddy did not signal for a fair catch.
Yeah, but he has to be allowed to catch the ball. It's going to be called interference on the guy that runs over him.
And run over is the only description.
Well, I'll tell you what it sounds like when you get knocked out like this, like a train coming out of the tunnel. Now watch this. Boy, what a shot of the ball.
The picture, I mean.
Oh, I know it.
Oh, wow.
Man, it's almost simultaneous, if you can say almost something like that.
John Fairfield is the man who was down early and who put the knock on Billy Waddy.
The Rams don't like it a bit. Their whole squad's out there. I wouldn't like to have them circle up on me.
It's clipping against Los Angeles after all that.
Well, you're supposed to have at least a foot. You're supposed to be able to catch the football as a punt return person. I'm not, I like to see good football and everything else, but that was a very, very close call.
Billy Waddy hasn't spent a lot of time back there returning punts, and I doubt that he wishes to spend much more back there after that one. And the penalty winds up being against the Rams for clipping. Ferragamo in discussion.
Waddy's still down on the ground, by the way.
Let's listen to what happened.
Personal foul, clipping, receiving team. The penalty will be enforced where the ball was fallen on.
The penalty will be enforced where the ball was fallen on. The Rams will have the football when we come back, and the Rams will have the lead also.
Motorcraft for sure. Motorcraft for sure.
How do you make the great lineup of Motorcraft parts even better? You've already got batteries with sure power, hot firing spark plugs, and a full line of filters. So how do you make it better? Just add oil. Introducing Motorcraft Oil, formulated to stabilize oxidation and reduce wear. Rated SF, it meets the most advanced engineering standards set for the 80s. You can be sure of it.
Motorcraft for sure.
People as having the best color picture.
Sylvania may not be the biggest, but a lot of people think Sylvania's got the
best color picture.
Tuesday, join Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, and the greatest stars of country music for a romp.
Ray Malavasi up in the left-hand corner. Jim Hannafin, the Cardinal coach, right-hand corner. Let's take one more look at that great, what we think is great, camera shot by our cameraman, Joe Vicens. Thank you, Joe.
I've never seen the ball captured like that. Billy Waddy is underneath it. He'll look at this sometime, and he'll also see what happened, because I guarantee you, when they helped him off, he still did not know.
There is such a thing as a fair catch. And that's the time when one should have been called for. Willie Miller has replaced Waddy. Just about wide to the left. Ferragamo gets to Eddie Hill.
And Eddie Hill gets a little bit of breathing room, and a Cardinal is down on the far side of the field. That should be the cornerback.
Tell you one thing, the Rams have been brought to attention by that running over Billy Waddy. If you turn his team on and get them mad, they can be angry.
I think that's what happened then. A little retaliation from Tim Collier on Tim Collier. I think Preston Denard was out on that side. And
boy, here's a
Billy
good young
Waddy.
cornerback. They're working with that left knee. Darn, he's a good player. The kid from East Texas State. And that wasn't intentional. It was away from the play. Somebody just blocked him or cut him off.
That would have been Denard out on that side. So while they look at him, we'll take a timeout with 10:44 left in the third quarter.
When you can borrow money for the things you need, when you need them,
That's Transamerica Financial.
that's Transamerica. When you go to the movies, and you're glad you did,
It's United Artists.
that's Transamerica. When your property is well insured and your independent agent is understanding.
That's Transamerica Insurance.
The many companies in the Transamerica family all stand for just one thing: first-rate service at a fair price. That's Transamerica.
We're doing something about it. We're working at making our energy last.
Sunoco wants to make every drop count for America. That's why we have a new pump for unleaded gas. It has 4 grades of unleaded, including economy, priced below our regular, which can save money for you and fuel for America.
We're doing something about it. Sunoco is making every drop count.
Tim Collier of the Cardinals, number 44, being helped off by Ottis Anderson, number 32. Final score, the Eagles, after being down, came roaring back. It was 16-3 Giants at one time, but 28 points in the second half. Make the Eagles victors 31-16. The last touchdown, Jaworski to Keith Krepfle.
Remember, this team, the Cardinals, 2 weeks ago, just took the Eagles apart and beat them 24-14 easily.
Carl Allen took the place of Collier. Here's Ferragamo to Eddie Hill. Shy of a first down. Looked like the ball might have come loose for just a second as Eric Williams made the tackle.
Remember, too, that Wendell Tyler is back in Los Angeles. He ran with pads with the Rams football team this past week. So Wendell Tyler coming back, and Peacock with just, I think, a minor groin pull or something. The Rams are going to be knee-deep in people that can move. And, of course, Wendell is a game-breaking running back.
Number 75, Irv Pankey, comes in. And he is an eligible receiver now, lined up tight end on the left-hand side. They go the other way. Eddie Hill hurls out to a first down. Mark Ernison on the tackle, but first down Rams.
You know, Eddie Hill comes into a team like this from, as you said, Mississippi State or Memphis State, and he falls in with the old veterans and all, and he runs like he's been in the league 5 or 6 years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That time he didn't hurry. He wanted to get the first down, waits for the blocks to take place, goes over the top. With a big, strong championship team, you can sort of fit in easier than with a team that's looking for something new all the time.
It'll be first down Rams at their own 16 with 9:10 left third quarter. Los Angeles leads 14-0 already. They swing it out to Eddie Hill, and he won't go much of any place this time. Penalty marker down. Steve Niels made the tackle for the Cardinals of St. Louis.
Well, Bob Pollard did a great job, too. The defensive end, 82, got out there and really helped sort of turn the play in, which sounds impossible. Offensive pushing call on the Rams.
That's not fair.
Can't do that. Boy, the new blocking rules, though, you can really punch people if you're strong up in that upper body.
Robin Earl scored the Chicago Bear touchdown with 1:26 left in the third quarter. Extra point by Bob Thomas. And that extra point gives the Bears a 7-6 lead in Minnesota over the Vikings.
Well, the Cardinals now got to be thinking about a turnover, an interception or something, get back in this.
Pass interference, number 81, offense.
Victor Hicks
It's the pick play, just like the NBA, right? Go out there and pick off the cornerback and allow the guy to run. That time they caught him.
Picked with helmets. First and 18 now for the Rams. Ferragamo gives to Cullen Bryant, and Cullen folds outside the 15 to about the 18. Ken Green, the safety man.
Oh, that time the Cardinals played the pressure beautifully, came all the way down. Jankowski went down in there, and Cullen waited for Doug France and company to collapse it. Watch it now. You're right behind the Ram offense. Watch Cullen wait for it. They've collapsed the darn thing. Cardinals played it pretty well and end up with 240 pounds on their head.
Can see the development of Cullen Bryant as a runner. Used to be at a play like that, he would have put his shoulder down and run into the pack and gotten 3 instead of 6 or 7. Eddie Hill. Mark Arneson on the tackle. First man there, and it's shy of a first down. So it'll be third with 8:10 left, third quarter. The Rams leading 14-0.
It's a tough place to run against. The Cardinals have come in here with a real good rushing defense. They're allowing, 100 and some odd yards. That's all the Eagles could get on the ground. And yet the Rams are staying right in there. Bang, bang, bang.
The New Orleans Saints only got 3 first downs all afternoon last week against this Cardinal defense.
80 yards total, right?
Rams, a different story. Here's Ferragamo looking and throwing and complete to Cullen Bryant. And he's going to be taken down by Steve Neal. And the Rams will have to punt. Cardinal defense, we were just talking about, very effective.
And watch Pollard put the pressure on. He'll come to the right side of your screen, or maybe the left side. They get him to a 4-man rush for this. Oh, man, fighting right through people. Great play by Pollard. Forces this play, which was incredible, really, by Ferragamo to get it off. And even Bryant can't break this one.
Remember the hit on Billy Waddy by Aker? Billy Waddy got some broken teeth on that play, and Frank Corral shanks one off the right side of his foot, bounces back down into Ram territory. That punt only went about 8 yards.
A golden chance for St. Louis. They're back in the ball game.
Frank Corral with a misfit. Joe Harris is the man who downed it for the Cardinals. Ray Malavasi looking unhappy, but he can't be too much. How come they always put the visiting team looking at the sun?
As uncomfortable as possible. But I'll tell you, the Cardinals are back in business.
Cardinals on the move quickly now as Mel Gray comes in motion. Ottis Anderson, the only setback, and he's hit as soon as he gets the ball. By Larry Brooks and Jim Hart is frustrated. Dallas now leads San Francisco in the third quarter. Over 7 minutes left. 45-7.
Oh. Rolling toward Philadelphia, right? Eagles and Cowboys.
Next week, the Eagles, of course, beat the Giants today after trailing. Maybe looking ahead a bit. 31-16, the final there.
Remember, skill positions count, especially in big games like this. The Rams will go with a lot of man-to-man defense because they are skilled, but you've got Mel Gray and Tilly. It's tough.
Tilly. First down, St. Louis.
Boy, is he a cute receiver. That time the man in motion ducked back in, went like across the middle, and then he went back outside. Now watch this. You're going to see some great athletic ability here. Tilly takes it inside, now goes back out. I told you, man for man, you got to go to skill positions. It's a great matchup.
Pat Tilly is 5'10", 171 pounds. Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh again. That is a final 17-16. Strange things happen every Sunday and Saturday. Jim Hart flung to the ground by the blitz, I believe, from Brzezinski. Right.
The offside linebacker, number 59, Ohio State, which means he'll tear you up, boy, on Sunday afternoon. Good blitz. That time, of course, the official was blowing the whistle because once they're in the grass, they don't want somebody to take them back and throw them over the other goalpost.
By the way, they're in overtime at Tampa. It's 14-14 between the two bays, Green and Tampa. Cowboys 45-7 third quarter over the 49ers. Billy Joe Dupree got the last Dallas touchdown. That one looks like it's well in hand. They'll be 5-1. The Eagles are already there. Hart drops. This time protection better. Nobody there. Good coverage by the Rams. Tilley, the intended receiver, Johnny Johnson right with him.
Hart felt awful about it. He knew he was going to clear openly. Watch this. A great quarterback, good pass blocking. It's just exactly what he wanted. And you know what? He is so pumped up, he simply overthrew the person. That was as clean a pass as you could throw, and he wants to throw it again, but you can't, obviously.
They're underway in Oakland. And the Raiders behind Jim Plunkett now that Dan Pastorini is out with a broken leg. 7-0 first quarter against the San Diego Chargers. 3rd and 14 here in St. Louis. The Rams up 14-0. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier in St. Louis. It is 3rd down 14 for the Cardinals. 3 wide receivers in the game at the moment. Jim Hart will look downfield if he has time, and does, and he has a man open over Mel Gray's head. And Hart just ducks his head in dismay. He had Mel Gray.
Boy, they picked the blitz up perfectly. He had great pass blocking, and nobody's thrown more good spheroids perfectly than Jimmy Hart. He's not a fancy guy in the pocket, but he gets a good deep drop quickly. They handle the blitz. Gray is running, and even Mel Gray can't catch him.
Rod Perry was back there with him, or closest to him. This will be 45 yards out of the hold of Roger Worley for Steve Little. He's missed once. Hits the upright. On the right. Plenty of distance. But Steve Little misses again.
He really got a foot into it.
Really popped this one. But the bank shot just doesn't go in when things are going wrong. Incredible.
Where is that caterer with all the things for the wedding?
We had a lot to get.
Many businessmen today are going for the out-front design 81 Ford van. It has unbeaten gas mileage ratings.
Is that your only truck? Where's the tent, the food, the chairs?
Don't worry, man.
Okay, guys, let's go.
And Ford is also the load champ, with more capacity than any other regular body van. Honest. Yes, Ford has made toughness and mileage into a happy marriage.
We want to make you smile.
I played it was backhand.
We're gonna make you smile.
Holiday Inn offers you the widest choice of the most popular resort locations.
I saw that.
Come to Holiday Inn where your smile says you're number one in people pleasing.
Next Saturday, they're on the muscle for the title in the World's Strongest Men competition. Next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
4:32 left third quarter. It's still Los Angeles 14. St. Louis Cardinals nothing. Coming up on 7 quarters since the Cardinals have scored against the Rams. Cullen Bryant.
Oh,
banging straight ahead.
Kenny Green finally met him head-to-head, the big safety man for the Cardinals. But, boy, he gets a load of steam like that. 37. There he is, 6'2", about 205. A heck of a good safety man.
Taking on Cullen Bryant, who is 6'1", about 240. That is the final. And there now are no unbeaten teams in the National Football League as the Colts beat the Bills 17-12 and improve their record. The Colts do 4-2. And don't forget about them when you're thinking about playoff time. Ferragamo to the outside.
Oh, boy.
Preston Denard, the pass catcher.
Feet and hands out of New Mexico. Nobody thought he was a very good player except the Rams. Boy, he's got some kind of a soft touch catching that ball, doesn't he? You're right in the Cardinal secondary. Let's look at it. It's a quick out. And if you're playing corner, even Roger Worley or somebody, you just let them have that one. How he got the feet down, nobody knows except Fred Astaire.
First down Rams at their own 40. Ferragamo does his little backward trick. Pass intended for Drew Hill. Just over his head as Drew sped it up the sideline. Carl Allen, who replaced Tim Collier back there with him.
Look at the size of Doug France. Is that incredible?
That should be the name of a television show or something.
I just like to have him with me on Saturday nights.
Live.
Boy, he is big, though, isn't he? Out of Ohio State, another one of those quality draft choices.
And they have so many, the Rams do. Clock stopped at 3:44, third quarter. Eddie Hill, the ball carrier, and look at him. Fumble, the Cardinals have it.
Kenny Green came up with it, number 37, I believe.
Carl Allen, I think, came up with it. It was Kenny Green. You're right.
A good-looking run by Hill, but he didn't put it away. Watch him when he cuts back up. He flops it a little bit. Wow. Coming out of the middle of the pack, they coughed that ball up.
Roll on in, America, to Sears First Automotive Savings Rally. Save 10 to 40% and get some of our lowest prices of the year on tires, shocks, batteries, and much, much more. There's heavy-duty jumper cable, $7.88, save $5. A battery charger, $29.88, save $10. A floor jack, $44.88, save $25. At the Sears Automotive Savings Rally. Don't miss it. Sears, where America shops for value.
Hey, this is a first. I don't go on blind dates, remember? But a friend is a friend.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, another Schaefer on my friend, Bill.
Say hello to Marcy Hopkins.
Marcy Hopkins.
Sitting pretty, all together in Schaefer City. Sitting pretty, all together in Schaefer City.
We are in Schaefer City.
Catch a sneak preview of The White Shadow as he returns to New York for an unforgettable reunion with his friends and father. The highly acclaimed White Shadow, a special preview on a special night, Thursday.
3:36 left, third quarter. Cardinals, after that fumble recovery, have a 1st and 10 at the Ram 48.
Jim Hart is 9 of 22.
And another sack, this time again by Fred Dryer. Jim Hart did the pump, couldn't unload.
Snake Dryer. There's a guy everybody says that, well, we'll run at Freddie and get him out of this league, right? At 6'6", 235. Well, why that doesn't happen? Been playing a long time. He used to be a number 1 draft with the Giants, I think, wasn't he?
That's right. 12 years out of San Diego State. He enjoys, he says, being the elder statesman. If that's what he is for the Rams. As you get older, people start to listen to you more, he said. I hope that's true in our case.
Oh, I certainly do.
Hart. Otis Anderson. Looked like he didn't expect the ball.
Boy, it was hot, though. That was a hot throw. A tough one to catch. I'm not blaming Jimmy Hart because he didn't have that much time, but this ball had mustard and onions on it. Watch this. Watch him load it up. I'll tell you, Jim Hart can knock you dead with that thing. He had to throw it. He had the blitz on him. Too hot to handle.
Ottis Anderson, O-T-T-I-S. 3rd and 17. It is. Pat Tilley goes in motion. And Jim Hart drops and is dropped. Again, it is probably Fred. This is Larry Brooks, as he and Fred Dryer had a little game going on the right-hand side of the line.
What a player. He was another one probably saying the beds were too lumpy and all that. Boy, they are work ethic people. Tough. It's a 4th sack. 30 yards lost in yardage, but even more humiliating when you got a great quarterback.
Guarantee after the Rams spend a night in your hotel, all the beds will be lumpy. They are big. Spider again. Leroy Urban this time. Fumble, and the Cardinals have it back again. Ken Stone. And St. Louis will have the ball in good shape.
That would be a muff. That was not able to be picked up in advance. It wasn't a fumble because it went on through cleanly. But why he took it on the dead run, Malavasi will find out.
That's got to be cause for hazard pay back there returning punts for the Rams. Somebody's down. It's a Cardinal. I can't tell who it is.
He might have had a little sun in his eyes, but if you do that, just get away from the ball.
That's the same man who hit Billy Waddy, I believe, before, who was down there early. Barfield, Bearfield it is.
Chuck Banker handles the special teams for St. Louis, and his guys are doing a heck of a job. What a shot. And you know, after you've got a 40-yard run and you meet something, especially on the artificial surface, there is a lot of contact. Find that ball. Hello there.
Score remains 14-0 Los Angeles, but that might change.
On the American road today is an automobile with remarkable dimensions in electronics and technology. Like electronic control of vital engine functions, including electronic fuel injection for efficiency and performance. Like a computer-analyzed design for maximum room and comfort without extra weight. Like an automatic overdrive transmission for excellent highway mileage. This fine car is not from the test tracks of Europe. This is an American automobile called Lincoln. Lincoln Town Car 1981. A fine sense of tradition, remarkable achievements in technology.
That is John Bearfield, number 58, who's come off now.
Patty's always been such a hitter, his own body won't take it. You know it? He likes to play football, and it's a tough, violent game.
Ottis Anderson, and this time he shakes to the outside. And congratulates Pat Thomas on a good hit.
Pretty well played by the defense, but Ottis picks up 4 yards and got a shot. Thomas really hit him right on those knees. Boy, those cornerbacks, do they hit. He and Perry are just great tacklers.
In the third quarter, as Ron Springs has just scored again for Dallas, the Cowboys over the 49ers, 52-7. A lot of time left to play for Dallas.
They better not waste all those points.
They'll be in Philadelphia next week, 2nd 6 here. This is Wayne Morris. And Morris gets down close to the 20, shy of a first down. Knocked down by Mike Fanning.
Patrick, a lot of contact. I know that is really a cliche, but there is some real hitting today. 2 big, strong lines, offensively and defensively, and they are slugging one another legally.
Don't forget the Cardinals have lost both of their starting offensive guards as the Chargers have tied the Raiders in the first quarter 7-all. 3rd down, 3. St. Louis. Hart with Anderson and Morris behind him. And Hart this time has some time to throw, and Ottis Anderson breaks out of one tackle, out of another one. Anderson inside the 5 for St. Louis. Johnny Johnson finally took him down.
I thought they were going to get him a face mask, too. It looked like they grabbed his helmet to get him down. Hacksaw Reynolds had him pretty well lined up. Could not handle him. Watch this. 3rd downs now. 2 of 10 for Jim Hart and company until this one. It's a great individual effort, and nobody's better than Anderson. Look at this. I still think they got his face mask getting him down. Nope, they got the shoulder pads.
They say that his father wanted to name him Artis, A-R-T-I-S, and the doctor misspelled his name and spelled it O-T-T-I-S on his birth certificate. And that's why it's O-T-T-I-S, Otis Anderson. Hart looking, throwing. Anderson can't come up with it. Almost.
The toughest catch of all. Straight over your head, softly laid in there. Incredible catch. Pretty good coverage by Carl Eckern there. But I'll tell you, he was open. Jim takes something off of this one, but it's true. But that is an incredibly tough catch.
You almost had it.
Emma Jane's boy Bucky, right?
His mother's name. In West Palm Beach.
He's got 61 yards now on 14 carries.
How long since you've seen that formation? That is the original T. Otis Anderson on the left has the football. Not quite a touchdown, however, as Johnny Johnson comes up to knock him down.
Hannafin puts in Theodis Brown, the 220-some-odd pound fullback from SC. And then they just go with that straight T formation. They tell you what they're going to do, but boy, the Rams are tough when you tell them what you're going to do.
They're tough if you don't tell them. Willard Harrell checks in, and Otis Anderson comes out. Some piece of property he is.
Oh. Did he have a Rolls Royce outside the stadium yesterday?
That was my guess. I know it wasn't mine or yours. Cardinals in that full house again. Touchdown, Willard Harrell. Cardinals on the board.
The third back through on tight T formation. You can line up in the short punt formation if it's clocked. Boy, they come off the ball. Deerdorf, Marsh. Some effort by Harrell.
Looking for somebody to block.
Straight football right at the Rams, and they're supposed to love that. Boy, this is tough. Look at Hacksaw Reynolds fill the hole. Great effort.
Extra point by Steve Little. It is 14-7.
How about if the field goal had not hit the upright? Would be 14-10, right? Power football. Shades of single wing.
One of these days, somebody's going to come out at the beginning of a game, not just on the goal line, and run that formation and shock everybody and keep the ball for 15 minutes. Ray Malavasi and Bud Carson looking on the sidelines. His team, although his face wouldn't reflect it at the moment, still leads 14-7 with 8 seconds left in the third quarter. We expected a close game. We have a close game.
I think Malavasi has concern for a good reason. I think the Cardinals are hot. They're looking for turnovers. You make a mistake against us, we're going to take this game and walk away and say, hey, see you guys. Come back and see us under the arch.
Cardinals have lost quite a few people today with injury. So have the Rams, for that matter. Billy Waddy, Kent Hill, Elvis Peacock. 9 plays. They went 48 yards. Took 3 minutes, 28 seconds, and Willard Harrell out of the tight T formation scored the touchdown. Steve Little had some problems right now teeing it up. First round draft choice out of Arkansas.
Those kickers do have a problem, don't they?
But not usually teeing it up. Steve Little drives it. Drew Hill catches it on the rebound. Don't forget he brought one back opening day. A long, long way.
90 yards.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score Los Angeles 14, St. Louis Cardinals 7. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Tuesday, a reunion beckons a man back to his high school girlfriend. But it's her teenage daughter who ends up stealing his heart. Reunion, a television premiere Tuesday night.
This is CBS.
My luggage is on the TWA commuter flight somewhere. Vancouver.
Did anybody else do that?
Hey, Tony, did I tell you what time they delivered my bags this morning?
No,
The guy knocked on my door at 6 a.m.
Are they?
I had him by the throat. I thought he was the bouncer.
Okay, they're from New York. They're from New York.
Quarry.
But I'll do it. I want to do it, but I just want to make sure I did it when it was heard.
Hey, shoot that one sign, that crazy CBS sign over there, will you? Can you shoot that thing? Crank him up, yank him.
Joe Vicens will get it since we've praised him already. Well, the only name they spell right is Cardinal. I can understand that.
Number 1 was okay.
Yeah. Drew Hill swings in motion as we start the action in quarter number 4. Cullen Bryant bowls outside. Here's what happened. The Rams got a touchdown pass from Vince Ferragamo and a touchdown run from Vince Ferragamo, and the Cardinals, after a fumble recovery, moved in for their touchdown just a few moments ago. Willard Harrell put it in the end zone.
It's long drive time for the Rams. They got to protect that lead now.
Cullen Bryant looked like he might be trapped in the backfield. And very astutely kept his feet and stayed to the outside before he was knocked out of bounds by Mark Arneson. And it's close to a first down as Ray Malavasi looks on.
Remember, now the Cardinals are going to gamble on defense. They have been anyway. They've been attacking on defense, waiting for something to happen. Arneson looks like he might have hurt himself. Boy, some hitter he is. He and Carney in the middle are just something.
Cardinals have lost already both their starting guards. On offense, lost their cornerback Tim Collier on defense, replaced by Carl Allen. And now it looks like one of their linebackers might be down. Not to say that the Rams haven't lost their players, some of them.
Hannafin talking to Deerdorf, then moving down.
Let's look ahead just a minute.
Oh.
Dallas, Philadelphia, both teams now. Philadelphia's already won, and Dallas is running away in a stampede. The Cowboys running roughshod over San Francisco. Green Bay will be at Cleveland.
Green Bay's coming better.
They're in overtime at Tampa, by the way. Minnesota, Cincinnati. St. Louis, Washington. Atlanta, New Orleans. And don't forget about New Orleans. Also, Detroit, Chicago. Big NFC Central Division game. The traditional rivalry between Los Angeles and the 49ers. The Giants go to the West Coast for San Diego.
I want to know who set up the Giants' schedule. We still want to find out who did that.
The Marquis de Sade.
Sadist.
Third, about 1 at the 31. Ferragamo gets to Cullen Bryant, and he has it. Banging.
It's ball control time for Malavasi, and he knows it. Okay, guys, you say you're a good offensive line. We got the big running backs. Let's go out and prove it. And St. Louis is looking for the fumble, the INT, which they may not see too many balls over their heads anyway.
Saints 3, Lions nothing. Second quarter. Benny Ricardo. Field goal for New Orleans. It is now Dallas 59. San Francisco 7. Play pass fake. Ferragamo has his tight end wide open. Victor Hicks. And Hicks is hurt.
Some call. That Kenny Green stuck him, number 37. What a great call, though. You don't want to throw the ball a lot, but it's early in the fourth quarter, so you got to keep it moving. Look at that Hicks get back up, and Green really stuck him.
Victor Hicks is number 81.
Oklahoma.
He didn't catch too many passes at Oklahoma.
But he and that Arnold are two good young tight ends. Look at this tackle. And he got back up after rolling over and said, how many? Got back up.
Victor Hicks, they say, weighs 250. And he's a lightweight in the line. Fumble!
Oh. Preston Denard.
Rams got it back. Preston Denard.
Oh. You know how difficult it is to fall on a football on AstroTurf? That thing is like a greased pig. Watch this ball come out of there. That's what the Cardinals are looking for. Watch what happens. Watch Denard. You're not going to believe this one. Hello.
That is an incredible play. The Cleveland Browns over the Seattle Seahawks, 7-0. Ryan Sipe, not too much vengeance, but a mountain of a quarterback. Here's Cullen Bryant, who's also a mountain. He got about 4. Charles Baker made the tackle. The Oilers and the Chiefs. Tony Frisch has Bum Phillips' gang up 3-0 over the Kansas City team.
You know, we keep forgetting that the Rams came so close to winning in Pasadena that at the end of 3 quarters, they were the team with the impetus. We all keep forgetting that Pittsburgh didn't blow them out of that game, really, you know?
31-19, and if Nolan Cromwell, with no criticism intended, had come up with that one interception he had a shot at, they might be the defending Super Bowl champions. That is the rookie Mike Gooman from Penn State, who just made that last carry. Well, they come up with them, don't they, the Rams?
Well, they got, 9 picks in the first 5 rounds next year in the draft.
That's next year. As good as they are already.
Got, several number 2s, quite a few number 3s.
2 2s, 2 3s. The Jets, they're going to beat somebody someday. Over the Falcons, 7-0. Scott Durking, a touchdown for the New York Jets. Eddie Hill or Mike Gooman? Mike Gooman this time, 44 instead of 24. You talk about Atlanta. But for a couple of penalties and a couple of missed kicks, they would be 5-0.
Well, there's one. You really puzzled me with that one.
Well, they had 2 touchdowns called back that would have won football games. And they had 2 kicks that hit the uprights that would have won football games.
Bryant, by the way, has 88 yards.
Ferragamo automatic. And does it well to Preston Denard. You heard him change at the line of scrimmage.
How many quarterbacks are given that much latitude? You know what? He has it, and it was a good audible. You're absolutely right. The quick out. Let's throw on the first down. What they pick up, 7.5?
About. Make it 2nd and 3 at the 13.
And remember, the Rams have competition for darn near every spot in the lineup, which is really a very healthy thing.
When you have that competition, everybody plays. That's not the point, to keep everybody happy. That's the point. Here's Gooman.
Oh, Bob Pollard. Whoa.
First man there.
Oh, was he on top of that one?
Ferragamo today is 12 out of 23 for 99 yards. Not the spectacular days that he's had in recent weeks. Not the 304 yards that he had last week, but nevertheless effective.
Pollard's tough. Remember he got married in the middle of the season one year?
That in itself is tough.
You've got to be rough.
Third down, 1. Cullen Bryant might be a little bit shy. We might see Frank Corral bring his act onto the field.
The Rams brought the tight end that was actually on the wing back in, and he trapped from the outside. St. Louis had so many people stuffed into the hole, there was just no room for anybody.
Here is Corral. And again, in a situation like this, or like that, Irv Pankey comes in, number 71 comes in on the field goal team for the Rams.
Is he one of the biggest kickers you've ever seen? He is really a big athlete, isn't he?
No, I guess Luke Rosa's the biggest kicker. Or Tom Dempsey.
Yeah, you're right. But he's 220 pounds, isn't he?
He's about size, not as tall as I was. Used to be.
Wow.
That's good from Corral, and that makes it 17-7. Penalty marker down, so we'll have to check on this one, although the Rams have got the kicking unit back on the other end of the field.
Watch out. Winter's almost here, and wind's gonna get you, and cold's gonna get you, and high fuel bills are gonna get you, because you still haven't added more insulation to your attic. So do it now. Get more Owens Corning fiberglass insulation and add another layer to put your house in the pink. See your dealer or contractor. Buy more Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now, before winter gets you.
The Yankees won 22 World Series. No other teams come close. The Steelers won 4 Super Bowls. No other teams come close. American Airlines has been the #1 choice for domestic travel in 3 straight surveys of frequent flyers. No other airlines won even once. The main reason we won, service, and the American team that delivers it.
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
There was holding against the Cardinals. It's 1st and 10 Rams at the 5-yard line as we come back live. And here's Mike Gooman. Touchdown, Rams.
Actually, Favron must have tried to pull somebody out of the line so they could block the field goal that we thought was very good and was. The official will tell us the story. 7 instead of 3, huh?
He's the biggest kicker.
Holding number 59, defense. The penalty will be accepted. We will have a first down.
That's what happened while we were away. And then here is the touchdown. This is also recorded just to bring you up to date. And Mike Gooman scores the touchdown for the Rams. Here is the live extra point by Frank Corral. And it's 21-7 instead of what we told you.
Thank God Tony Verner's in the truck. Tony kept us right on side, right?
Boy, I'm glad I'm up to date now. And I hope you are. It's 21-7 instead of 17-7 when we left you last.
JCPenney's incomparable MCS Series 45-watt receiver and 3-way linear phase speakers. One sound will tell you all you need to know about their specs. One look will show you what a great buy they are at $749.85. But look again. Right now, these incredible components are on sale as a package for an unbelievable $499. JCPenney's MCS Series 45-watt receiver and linear phase speaker sale. The value is crystal clear.
Motorcraft for sure. Motorcraft for sure.
How do you make the great lineup of Motorcraft parts even better? You've already got batteries with sure power, hot firing spark plugs, and a full line of filters. So how do you make it better? Just add oil. Introducing Motorcraft Oil, formulated to stabilize oxidation and reduce wear. Rated SF, it meets the most advanced engineering standards set for the 80s. You can be sure of it.
Motorcraft for sure.
Next Saturday, see top U.S. skaters take a spin for world honors at the World Roller Skating Championships. Next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
So, I hope you're not confused. The Cardinals...
I am. How do you hold on defense on the field goal
attempt? I don't know.
You're allowed to use your hands, for guys' sakes. That's ridiculous.
I've never seen that call before. Willard Harrell has it for the Cardinals and has it out of bounds. At any rate, Frank Corral's field goal was good. We left you for a commercial with the score up 17-7. While we were away, we found out from the group of zebras that
don't say any more.
That the Rams had been, the Cardinals had been guilty of holding on defense. On a field goal, I don't understand it.
It's the first one I've ever seen.
At any rate, the Rams got the first down. They got the touchdown, and it's 21-7. This is Pat Kelly, and
Tilly gets a Cardinal first down on individual effort.
You talk about coming out of the briar patch. Tilly gets that ball right in the middle, and every Ram seems to surround him. And then watch the chase. You're right behind the middle linebacker, Reynolds, who's looking for him, and there he is. Now watch this. Save yourself or your family. I don't blame Tilly. Get out of bounds.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Green Bay Packers went into overtime, and the overtime is over, and they wound up in a tie at 14 apiece. The Bays tied together. Hart on a good throw under great pressure, intended for Doug Marsh. That is a final. As you know, in regular season, they go into overtime. We do. NFL does. You play one extra period. If nobody scores, that's the way it finishes. So that's a tie.
Do they do penetrations and total yardage or any of those things?
Only in high school.
Sorry, I asked. Pretty good throw, though. Larry Brooks really drilled Hart. As you said, Patty, had to make a very hurried throw, but it was good. Should have been caught.
It'll be second 10 at the 40 for the Cardinals. 8:09 left on the clock. The Rams fake blitz. Back out. Now they come. They do blitz. And Hart does a good job of reading. Mark Bell breaks one tackle and almost breaks the whole thing as Johnny Johnson made the tackle. But Hart knew it was coming.
How did Johnny Johnson make the tackle? Because he's one of the guys moving into blitz. I don't know where number 20 came from. Watch the blitz now. They'll move up. They're going to fake it, right? Now they back off. Now they're telling Jim that now they come anyway, okay? Now watch Johnson, number 20. He goes in, gets hit on the blitz, comes out of that pack somehow, and as Perry has trouble with the tackle, he comes and makes it for him.
That is absolutely amazing how he got back there that quickly. I guess that's why they drafted him number 1. Here's Hart standing and throwing. Incomplete.
Remember now, Jimmy Hart is not a mover in the pocket. He's not a scrambler. He's not a Ferragamo. He's not a Jaworski. He will go back and get the quick set, but he's not a shuffler or mover. And if you can make him sort of have to stand in that silo and throw the ball, he doesn't see well because big people are hanging over the edge all the time.
He is 12 out of 28 for 138 yards. The Browns 7-3 over the Seahawks. Don't count them out of any picture yet. They have a lot of talent in Cleveland. Hart unloads for Gray. Nolan Cromwell. Mel Gray has run 109.3 a few years ago. I don't know how fast Nolan Cromwell is, but he was with him stride for stride.
As fast as he needs to be. I watched him throw footballs at practice yesterday, 65 yards, 70 yards, just aired it out. He can throw it a ton. He can catch it. He can jump out of the ballpark, but he's always under control.
Blessedly, the 49ers have scored in the fourth quarter in Dallas. It is now the Cowboys 59, the 49ers 14. And it's not over yet. Roger who?
Danny W. Wow.
3rd and 10 in St. Louis. 21-7. Rams lead. Hart drops again. And Hart pumps, throws. Got a man open. It's Mel Gray. He'll have a first down. Almost lost his head. Literally, I mean. Leroy Irvin took him out of bounds by the neck.
Now, Pat Tilley is downfield, actually picking somebody off. Because of that, Mel sort of opens up. Boy, Jim Hart stayed in there and threw a strike. Watch Tilley now turn to block for him. Oh, man, that is a rough tackle.
10-7. The Oakland Raiders over the San Diego Chargers. Seem to have gone into a stall lately, don't they? Lost last week to Buffalo in an exciting contest. And maybe they're still recovering. First down, Cardinals at the 35-yard line of the Rams. Los Angeles leads 21-7 as Hart throws incomplete. Intended for Doug Marsh again. Johnny Johnson, the defender. You can see him mature and get better and better every time we see him, every week.
Jimmy Hart said before the game, Pat, that he had to use the tight end more and that he just had to against this team. You know, there's these days with the combos on the outside, double outside coverages and stuff, that if you don't have the tight end that can really do it, you're in trouble. And this young man is learning from the best.
Hart 13 out of 31 for 150 yards. Cardinals, even if they lose today, are certainly going to be a factor down this road. It's a long season and a lot yet to be played. Complete. Jim Hart to Mark Bell. Great effort by Jim Hart. Great effort by Bell.
Pat Thomas had him covered, but Mark Bell, the young man out of Colorado State, that's Fort Collins for you people that have ever been there. He went down and drove hard. It's a very dangerous throw. This is a deep sideline job that went all the way across the field. A great pattern. I think that was Rod Perry that was covered.
There are a couple of teams in the NFC Central and in the NFL overall that are very difficult to figure. That's probably a bad statement because there are certainly more than a couple. But Minnesota has defeated the Chicago Bears 13-7. That's twice they've beaten the Bears this year. Both teams. Strange. Taylor for the tight end. The touchdown. Doug Marsh. Great throw by Jim Hart. What a pass from Jim Hart.
And it's Doug Marsh's third touchdown catch of the year. He's had some problems. So has Jim Hart. What a great pattern, though. Get that tight end up the field. Can you break the zone? Oh, he pumps it. And then Marsh took it straight up instead of going to the outside. Oh, he beat some good people. He beat Cromwell and Johnny Johnson.
And support is blocked. And so the mountain becomes more difficult to climb. It's 21-13.
Watch him jack the ball. Watch him jack it. And then Marsh turned it straight up.
Reggie Doss was hanging all over Jim Hart when he let it go. And watch the block kick.
From the outside.
21-13, fourth quarter.
If anyone looks forward to the start of a new day, it's a Big A Auto Parts store. Because each new day is filled with such challenging customer requests for quality parts and friendly service. Take yesterday, for example.
Battery. Got an oil filter for a Ferrari?
You hook the black one to the plus or minus.
I need heavy-duty shocks.
A muffler for a Merc.
Boy, have you got metric tools.
Quality parts, friendly service. That's Big A.
Have you got a cup of coffee?
Sure. The hard-working auto parts store.
Michelob brings you the 7-day weekend, California style. In California, they don't follow trends, they set them. So people out here don't wait for the weekend to have a Michelob. They enjoy that smooth and mellow Michelob taste whenever and wherever they please.
Put a little weekend in your week.
Yeah.
Cardinals, 9 plays. They went 74 yards. It took them 1:38. Still plenty of time left. 6:50 left. And Steve Little will kick off.
Onside kick? Nope. They're going to kick it deep.
Drew Hill will return for the Rams. And Drew Hill can return. And returns out of bounds. Chased out by number 76, Stafford Mays. The young man we saw play in the Sun Bowl a few years ago.
Kickers get a lot of heat these days, don't they?
Well, they deserve it. They're booing Steve Little.
I mean, I didn't like kickers, but I don't think I ever stood across and booed you.
No, you always tried to hit me.
Boy, I really wanted to hit a kicker.
And a couple of times you were successful.
Those little things.
Houston 10, Kansas City nothing. Ferragamo gives straight ahead to Cullen Bryant, and Cullen does well to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
That was Acker in the middle, right?
Right.
From Rattlesnake, Texas. Where is he from?
Freer?
Freer.
He and Steve McMichael both went to high school, same place. And they had to get the Rattlesnakes off the field before they could practice.
You know how tough it is in those Texas towns, boy. You go into the diner on Monday morning, you better have played well on Saturday.
You got to really want to practice. 2nd and 10. Jeff Moore goes in motion. Ferragamo back again to Cullen Bryant, and again Cullen swings. Oh, one more tackle as Ken Green took him down, but if he had broken that one, it's goodbye Cullen.
Kenny Green is some safety man. I tell you, he's made some super hits today. And that one was a must.
That gives Cullen Bryant, by the way, 100 yards on the day. 17 carries, not even 100. And congratulations go to him, because this is not an easy defense to run against. This is Eddie Hill. Mike Gooman, sorry. Mike Gooman up behind the blocks of Cullen Bryant and the rest of that offensive line, and the Ram offensive line deserves more mention, I think. 77, Doug France. The left guard, Kent Hill, 72. 61 is Rich Saul. Doug Smith, number 56, who sometimes doubles as a center. And the man we interviewed before the game, Jackie Slater.
Oh, boy.
And they're coming on, all of them.
Rich Saul's playing 4 quarters. He seems to like the whole game these days. He always did.
Oh, he said before the game we talked to Rich, and he said, thank you for what you've said. What did we say?
We used to call him General Hospital. He was always bandaged beyond belief, right?
Watch him come off the line, that group we were just talking about.
Straight ahead. And Cullen Bryant straight ahead is scary. There's Kenny Green again.
And you look at that group and you start to average how much they weigh, and it comes close to 270. And you put a 240-pound runner, Cullen Bryant, behind him. They can move stadiums. They did move to Anaheim, didn't they?
That's right.
Mike Gooman straight ahead.
We haven't been out to Anaheim yet. I guess we'll make it. It's one of those unfulfilled dreams that every guy wants to go to Anaheim. This year it's going to be a very hot place. It's a good football team. It's the best we've seen. Best I've seen anyway, Pat.
The Rams.
Mm-hmm. They just keep leaning on you until if you have an imperfection, they just crack it until it opens up.
No, that's a very good description. You see Cullen Bryant now, 2,151 yards. Rams all-time rushing top 10. And that's an elite group when you think back about backs that they've had. Here he is again.
You mean Dickie Bass and all those great runners they've had?
Oh, Dick Bass, Dan Towler, Tank Younger,
Ronnie Waller,
John Arnett.
I chased a lot of those.
Going to leave out somebody I know, but you think back to that.
Tommy Wilson.
Touchdown Tom, whose son now plays with the Cowboys.
That's when you know you're getting up in long. Whoa!
That's not too bad a move. Ken Green again has to make the tackle.
And we forgot Wendell Tyler in that list, didn't we?
I didn't forget him.
Wait till he gets back with this club. They're opening up holes. Wendell will be through and the door's closed behind him.
I wonder if Clendon Thomas is in that group of top 10 Ram rushers. I doubt it. In motion. The Rams give it to Gooman. Gooman drops it. The Cardinals have it. I don't know if it was a misdirected handoff.
Pollard came up with it. Well, I'll tell you. And you got to play for the turnover now. You got to play for it.
2:13 left to play.
Let's watch the play. I don't believe he ever had it.
I don't think so.
Boy, those Cardinals. You talk about a bunch that'll hang together.
It is 21-13 Los Angeles with 2:13 left to play.
No experience, no job. I could do that job, but who'd give me the chance?
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines.
We don't ask for experience. We give it. You won't read it in a book. You live it. Pick a service. Pick a challenge. Set yourself apart.
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. What a great place. It's a great place to start.
When you've got to rely on your vehicles, rely on AC Delco. Hot-firing AC fire ring spark plugs, AC filters, Delco shocks, cold-cranking Delco Freedom 2 batteries, and more. AC Delco's a whole line of hard-working replacement parts.
AC Delco working hard for you.
For over 50 years, hard-working people have relied on AC Delco parts for just about anything that moves.
AC Delco working hard for you.
See your participating AC Delco outlet for his special Key Play offer.
Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier at Busch Stadium, St. Louis. 2 minutes and 13 seconds left to play. The turnover chart. Los Angeles has 2, Cardinals 1. Cardinals have the football with 2 minutes 13 seconds left to play. All of their timeouts left. So it's not done yet. Hart outside to Willard Harrell. And Harrell gets about 6. Jack Reynolds, number 64, made the tackle.
Braheny did a good job, the offensive center. Of course, Banks is now at the right guard, and he's injured, but Braheny went outside on that screen, and he got a good block on the outside.
2 minutes left to play. Not a Cardinal timeout, so they still have 3 left.
Introducing the revolutionary twin action shaving system engineered to outperform twin blades. The new Norelco Rotatract razor. Inside 3 floating heads, Rotatract works like twin blades to grip hair. Raise it up, then razor it off, hundreds of times a second, for a shave that's twin blade close without a nick or cut. The new twin action Norelco Rotatract razor, cord and rechargeable. Twin blade closeness, but no gotcha.
Lincoln Mercury introduces the totally new Lynx. Its hemispherical head engine, advanced transmission, and aerodynamic shape combine to produce exceptional fuel efficiency. Starting today, the world belongs to an American car. Starting today, the world belongs to Lynx.
Oh!
2 minutes left to play in St. Louis with the Rams up 21-13 over the Cardinals. Both teams came into this game with things rolling together. Cardinals had won 2 straight. Rams had won 3 straight. Scored a lot of points in the progress. Both had, in fact.
It's an important call, though, down there when they called defensive holding on a field goal.
I'll say.
It's like a 4-point swing as far as I'm concerned.
They had put the 17 on the board for the Rams, and then they called the Cardinals for defensive holding on a field goal attempt. Pat Tilley in motion. Hart, Reggie Doss, and they blow it dead.
Uh-oh, Jim Hart's hurt. Reggie really hit him, did it legally, and there's nothing intended, but I think Jim's on the ground. Let's see if he gets up.
I would bet you he gets up.
Boy, that Doss is a load to it.
Reggie Doss has taken the place of Fred Dreyer. And Fred Dreyer will be the first to tell you that Reggie Doss is going to be a superb player if he isn't already. And I think he is already.
Goes right by Oates and really hit Jim a shot. Trouble with the quarterbacking position is, other than all the pressure, is that when you get your arm up, you're concentrating so much, the rest of your body's sort of vulnerable. As you know, your arm you can stay steady with, but he took that shot on the left side of him.
Mike Lloyd will take his place, number 14. Los Angeles has 5 quarterback sacks. Cardinals have 1. Mike Lloyd, 6'2", 216 pounds from Missouri Southern State. It'll be 3rd and 17. Not an enviable situation that young Mike Lloyd will face.
Right, the Rams now have 21 sacks for the year, and they're beginning to get more than the last 3 or 4 weeks. They're beginning to really get it humming.
Front 4, Reggie Doss at right end. Larry Brooks next to him at right tackle. Jack Youngblood at left defensive end. And Mike Fanning is the other member of the front 4. Jim Hart.
Couldn't even get on the jacket. You see that? Didn't even want the jacket over his shoulders.
Lloyd then is the St. Louis quarterback. And the heat will be on him. Intended for Willard Harrell, and Willard can't find a handle.
You get the Rams in this position where they know that the throw is coming. That is a scary thing indeed.
There is a penalty marker down.
It's going to be holding right around the quarterback's legs.
Got to decline that. And the Rams continue to impress and continue to roll. They had some, as you know, probably training camp problems, early season problems. They still haven't settled everything.
Holding, offense, penalty decline, 4th down.
Pat, just to watch one of their practices, like on Saturday morning, Malavasi comes out and says, is everybody out here? And they're very relaxed. You know what I mean?
They're also very good.
I'd say.
This will be 4 straight victories for them. Swider, Johnny Johnson, who handles it. Today, that's been a pretty good accomplishment for the Rams. That's what dug some holes for them, is the inability to handle those punts. Of course, a couple of hits by the Cardinals contributed to that. You know, we're talking about running backs and the great array that the Rams have had. The Cardinals have had a pretty select group, too, when you go back to their great years with Pat Harder and Charlie Trippi and
oh boy,
Marshall Goldberg and Ollie Matson and Johnny Olszewski and John David Crow and Otis Anderson.
Jim Otis. Terry Metcalf, who ran so fast he ended up in Canada.
Still up there. 1st and 10 Rams at the 45.
But I've never seen a better one than number 32 that's wearing that red and white uniform right now.
Otis Anderson.
Yeah, I've missed a lot of good tackles in my day, but he would really put you into early retirement.
13-3, the Browns now over the Seahawks. Hard to figure, this NFL. Somebody said once, I think, on any given Sunday, what was that?
Burt Bell.
Is that who it was?
The old commissioner.
Mike Gooman, straight ahead, 44, stopped by Bob Pollard. What did Tony Verna just say? On any given Sunday, you can miss your flight. That's true.
It's going to be some flight back to the West Coast for the Rams. There's nothing worse, though, than being beaten at home. I know there's the bad plane flights coming back, but nothing worse than going home, you know, and you have to go out probably with the other teammates and the wives and all that, and that is painful indeed.
Mike Gooman again. Less than a minute left to play.
Our biggest problem was that some of the best contact our players made was after a game. You know, the linemen would go after backs and things like that. You know, it's all done by Monday, but that's sort of wild.
Let's give credit where credit is due to Charles Milton III, back in New York, our executive producer, to Robert D. Stinner, who does such a marvelous job all the time, and Tony Verna. Nobody does it better.
And Dumpf, old Robert Dumphy.
Stu Meyer. Otis Anderson is headed for the locker room. Like he might be aching a little bit.
You always wonder who winds them up, you know?
The running backs, you know. That is a final score, blessedly. 59-14. Cowboys, as you can see, had an overwhelming lead by the end of 2 quarters. Texas Stadium must have been an early festival tonight. 3rd and 2 at the 37. Ferragamo gives to Mike Gooman, and all they want to do now is run out the clock. And we look at the standings.
Tell
the
you,
Rams, excuse me, Tom.
That's okay. Go ahead. I bet Kenny Green's made 12 tackles today.
That's a pretty good indication of how effective the Ram offensive line has been. That Kenny Green, the safety man, has had to make so many tackles. The clock had stopped with 50 seconds to go. The Rams will be 4 and 2. San Francisco will be 3 and 3. So depending upon what happens to Atlanta, the Rams will be in first place.
Pat, the great thing about the Rams is they have just enough of turmoil to really be a great football team. You know what I mean? All kinds of, this guy isn't signed.
Ferragamo isn't signed, number 15.
Agents put in the trunks of their cars, all of those different things that we've heard about out there. But, you know, that's pretty good for a football team when you can go to practice and get with your people and do your thing and have all this going around you. You know, it's a swirling thing.
I know last year at the Super Bowl when we went down to visit with Ray Malavasi. Remember how proud he was of that training complex that they have and how, you know, what if it had been you and me, we'd have moved in there.
But he's a working guy, you know, all of them are. And there's, you know, the only shortcut I know to being a good football team or good at anything is hard work, and they put in a lot of time at it.
That's not really a shortcut.
No.
That is the only cut. The Rams come out now on 4th down. 4th and 3 at the Cardinal 38, and they'll just say, hey, we'll do the best we can. Give you the football back if we don't make it. And they're not going to make it. The Cardinals will take over.
Kenny Green again.
Started to say a minute ago, the Cardinals, as you look at the NFC Eastern Conference, Cardinals will be 2 and 4, but don't count them out of this playoff picture at all yet, because they'll be back. They're a good football team. Dallas, with that convincing victory over San Francisco, is 5 and 1. Philadelphia, after being behind, came roaring back and beat the New York Giants 31-16, and they're 5 and 1, and Dallas will be at Philadelphia next week. Mike Lloyd seeking room and finding room. Cullen Bryant, by the way, carried the football 20 times today. Picked up 115 yards. The Cardinals next week, by the way, will be at Washington. The Redskins, of course, have had their problems. They play Denver tomorrow night. And that situation is not all healthy. Redskins, however, have played good football. They just 1 and 4, and probably will be 1 and 5. You're watching the end of this game run out as Lloyd, chased by Doss, completes it to Pat Tilley. And Tilley will be shy of a first down. 25 seconds.
I think St. Louis will decide the NFC East. I think that they'll get a split, I think, with Dallas. And they've already beaten Philadelphia. And I think they're the team that, if they don't win it, they're going to be the spoilers, you know?
No timeouts left for the Cardinals, and that one just kills the clock with 12 seconds left to play. Rest of the schedule, the rest of this season is going to be very, very interesting. And a team with a tower of strength, at least.
You're standing on my umbilical cord.
On your cable.
My cable.
Starting to say the team with the tower right now seems to be the Los Angeles Rams. Boy, they look tough, don't they?
And they don't have a bad schedule if there's anything easy or tough about a schedule.
Well, there's nobody easy. A little tussle between Reggie Doss and Oates. I think Brad Oates, is it?
Yeah. Well, that's got to be a heavyweight match.
They qualify.
Get them on celebrity weightlifting.
So the Rams then, after that horrendous start, run down by Detroit, In the opener, Billy Sims made his debut in spectacular fashion.
Boy, would he have been fun to play for, though. You know, I played with Ray Malavasi. He was a rookie with me, which shows you how bad the Eagles team was in those days, right? But he'd be a fun guy to play for. If you're honest with him, give him a day's work, you get a day's pay.
Well, with all the problems that they had in signing players and in training camp or what have you, he just simply said, I'll go with what I got. That would be then the final score, 21-13.
Yes.
The Rams over the St. Louis Cardinals. We expected it to be a tough game as the Cardinals had won 2 straight. The Rams had won 3 straight.
Right.
But as you look at the Rams, you see them as being more and more a power to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I just hate to see a game ever decided on something like a holding on a field goal. You know, I just assume the players decided, and the Zebras do a great job, and I'm not trying to knock them because they have a job to do and they're looking at it. But, you know, it's still a game for the players and the coaches and for us. You know.
And nobody enjoys it more than we do.
Gosh, I'll tell you, if this is work, I'd like to have a few more of these.
Well, I guess it's time to say goodbye. So for Tom Brookshier, Pat Summerall, this is just goodbye from St. Louis. The NFL on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.
This is CBS.